And
Welcome to the Zoom Test Kitchen where the magic happens live. Every Friday we're on air, testing tech to thrive. From screen share to breakout rooms, we push Zoom to its max. So sit back, relax, and let's see what's in our tech hacks. Zooming in, we're testing it all. Live on YouTube each week. From audio to video, no feature we won't tweak. We're the Zoom Test Kitchen crew, here to innovate. Join the fun, learn the tech, don't be late. We'll dive into the settings, explore every single tab. Make sure your mic is clear, your camera not a drab. We'll show you how to host like a pro, manage like a king. With Zoom Test Kitchen, you'll be zooming with a zing. Zooming in, we're testing it all. Live on YouTube each week. From audio to video, no feature we won't tweak. We're the Zoom Test Kitchen crew, here to innovate. Join the fun, learn the tech, don't be late. Whether you're new to Zoom or an expert in disguise, we've got tips and tricks. We'll open up your eyes. From polls to quizzes, we test functionalities. Join us live, see what Zoom does with ease. So if your meetings lag, or you can't share your screen, or if your audio echoes like you're stuck in between, we've got solutions, we'll show you how it's done. Zoom Test Kitchen, where Zoom fun has begun. Zooming in, we're testing it all. Live on YouTube each week. From audio to video, no feature we won't tweak. We're the Zoom Test Kitchen crew, here to innovate. Join the fun, learn the tech, don't be late. So tune in, don't miss out on this tech fest we lead. Every Friday, Zoom Test Kitchen, where you'll succeed. We'll make your Zoom meeting smooth, keep the tech in check. In the Zoom Test Kitchen, we've got your back, no wreck. So tune in, don't miss out on this tech fest we lead. Every Friday, Zoom Test Kitchen, where you'll succeed. We'll make your Zoom meeting smooth, keep the tech in check. In the Zoom Test Kitchen, we've got your back, no wreck. These lyrics capture the essence of what the Zoom Test Kitchen does, focusing on testing and teaching about Zoom functionalities in a fun, engaging way. Zooming in, we're testing it all. Live on YouTube each week. From audio to video, no feature we won't tweak. We're the Zoom Test Kitchen crew, here to innovate. Join the fun, learn the tech, don't be late. We've got your back, no wreck. We've got your back, no wreck. These lyrics capture the essence of what the Zoom Test Kitchen does, focusing on testing and teaching about Zoom functionalities in a fun, engaging way.
Well, hi, everyone. Welcome to the kitchen. Let me turn off my original sound because I've got a loud air conditioner behind me, which I think that probably won't be any better. But hey, ho, if you're watching us, you're a nerd because no one else is. Apparently, there's a game where Mike tells me you kick the ball around and you don't use your hands. And it's happening like America is involved. USMNT versus Australia. Is that the one? That's the one. Wait, is that the one? Yeah.
that's the one. That's the one.
Australia in FIFA World Cup 2026 group stage. 3 o'clock is that they should be kicking off right now. I was gonna give updates, but I can't find the game or any information about it. Let me pull up YouTube here, and we will keep you posted uh, as the game goes on. Because soccer's my jam. I mean, football. FIFA World Cup. Hey, let's say hi to everyone. Oh, by the way, Mike, I don't have my all my buttons to spotlight and stuff. So, if you don't
Yep,
mind.
not a problem. Yep.
And by the way, hey, that's Mike right there. Say hi, Mike.
Say hi to Mike. Hi,
Hi,
Mike.
say hi to Mike. Hi, Mike.
All right.
United v Australia. Oh, here it is. Okay, here it is. I got the game, and it looks like someone just kicked a ball. I don't want to put. I won't put it on screen because then we'll get a takedown.
Yeah.
Which is kind of dumb since it's already on. Oh no, that wasn't actually someone kicking a ball. That was just a replay for something else.
Mhm.
All right, I'm gonna.
And FIFA is watching, guaranteed, because
Yeah.
millions of dollars, millions and millions of dollars have been spent
Okay.
by our friends at Fox and Telemundo in the US, and our friends at TSN and CTV and RDS in Canada, and TVP in Poland for our next person that you might want to say hi to.
And CIA and NSA and NBC and CNN, NFL and Starbucks. Okay. So that's Mike. Hey, Mike. Right. You just said so many letters. I have no idea what you're talking about. Robert, how are you?
I just can't get over it that we have the Australians who pick up the ball and they play rugby and they have the oval ball. We've got the Americans who play American football and they're meeting in the States and they're playing with a ball that they can't touch. That must be a challenge.
That's actually a brilliant intro to today's game. That's fantastic. Oh, that's so funny. Yeah.
I'm good, thanks, David.
I've missed you. I've missed you. It's really good to have you back.
Thank you. It's good to be here. It's really difficult to try and get a message across over the YouTube chat. I mean, if I didn't have Frank here to interpret my messages, I'd be like just a bozo sitting on the sideline.
Yeah. Yes. Yep. Okay. I seem to be stuck on the coach cam. I don't really care about the coach cam. Why am I just looking at the coaches? There's got to be another. Is this like a choose your own adventure stream? This is the Fox Sports. And I can tell that there's action going on, but all I see are the two coaches side by side. It's the dumbest thing. John, do you have any idea how I get out of this? Is this football hell that I found myself in?
Hello everybody. I would like to know what the weather is at the venue. Because the frenetic speed that they're running around at the moment, they're not going to keep that up for 90 minutes. That's a good point. Because they've had to put drinks breaks into this game. Because again, this is going to be confusing for everybody because the people run around for 45 minutes
straight.
Yeah.
Not 4 or 5 minutes and then have a think about it and then run around for another 30 seconds. You know, it's a game where it just keeps going on and on. It's called a sport. Unlike what you have in America, which is you have advertisements.
Okay. Slow your roll, buddy.
Broken down with a few people running around in between. So it is.
We have performances by really big, important stars and people dressed in grass costumes at halftime. Also, okay. So it's not just advertisements.
Well, as I was once the owner of an American football team, I can insult the sport because I've played it. Yes, when the NFL first came to the UK and set up a pro-am type league, I financed a club called the Croydon Cyclones, me and my mate. And the greatest game we ever played was against the police. The Met Police actually joined us in American football. And it's the only time in my life I've legally been able to knock the bejesus out of a policeman without being arrested afterwards.
You get arrested a lot, do you?
By the way, it's not just us Americans that have ridiculous things at our sports. Shakira performed at the opening of FIFA. I mean, this is so there you go. This is the opening of FIFA this year, and she performed. I mean, I could do that more than okay. There was no audio. Hey, Frank. Help.
Hey, yeah, I just wanted to mention that.
This is the Zoom Test Kitchen, and
Hold on. No, just give me a second. I just want to get his name right. Ottawa native Jonathan David scores a hat trick at the World Cup. Top scorer of the World Cup,
Ooh.
along with some guy named Messi. So a Canadian is tied for the most goals in the World Cup. I just wanted to throw that out.
That's exciting. That's cool.
Canada, woohoo!
That's very cool. I don't. Well, am I crazy that I literally cannot find the game live right now? I don't understand.
Well, you can, but you shouldn't be able to easily on YouTube.
Oh, you should. They wouldn't stream this on YouTube. Oh, okay. What do I know? I don't know. Okay.
Anyways, Jonathan's from Ottawa, where I am. So.
That's very cool. I mean, the next obvious question is when's your game that you're playing in, Frank?
That I personally am playing in? Never.
Yeah, never.
No. I
have to stop you there. I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen. We have to stop you there. I've got some latest news.
Okay.
Somebody's lost the ball in a net.
Oh no.
Oh, it's called a goal. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, somebody's lost the ball in a net. It's called a goal, and apparently that's the objective of the game.
And apparently it was
it's an American person.
Oh, so we got a point.
I apologize to all the people tuning in for actual Zoom information every week.
I know there is so much to talk about for Zoom this week. I will say, I just want to say one thing that while I don't play soccer, football, nor do I understand why anyone would play soccer, football, of all the sports, it seems to me that it's absolutely the most sporty. Like, I mean, these guys work for their money. Up and down, running the way they do. Okay.
Before we get started, can I share something?
Yeah, I just want to say hi to Hasma. Hi, Hasma.
Yeah, please do.
Go ahead. Yeah, I said hi.
Oh, okay. Just because last week you asked me about it, so.
By the way, the article that you put in, Frank, about the cost of AI was fascinating. Thank you for that.
Not to cover you up, but this is our LLM server we're currently building.
Okay, can you walk me through a little bit?
No. I don't know any of the technical specs or anything.
No. I'm just sorry. This is a much more basic. Is that a rack mount basically? And
yeah, they're going to get rack mounted. They're just in the process of still being configured.
Gotcha. And those are each computers themselves? Are they like just
one
GPUs?
of them? Most of it's GPUs and RAM. I'm sure the other one is probably hard drives.
Gotcha.
It's also
very cool. Wow.
Anyways,
yeah. So all the
cool.
black. So all the black. You saw all the black stuff. Those are all individual hard drives.
Right. The boxes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or
and
GPUs. Right.
No, not GPUs. The GPUs would actually plug into the back part of the.
Okay.
But yeah, that is a mega. It looks like a Dell. Frank, is it a Dell server? It looked like it was a Dell.
I don't.
Do any of you watch? Do any of you watch Rick Beato? He's
Rick
Beato. Beato. I'm so sorry, Beato.
Yes.
He just put. Was it today? I just watched it. 22 hours ago, he put out a video about. I was right about AI, and it was really interesting. It was about really about this, about not using the cloud, that we're going to get to a point where, and this is where Apple's going also, where we're not as reliant on the cloud, that 99% of what we need to do, or 90%, 50%, whatever we can do on device, which will long-term save money, save energy, save all that other stuff.
Theoretically, because he also said that a 4 terabyte hard disk drive that he bought 2 years ago cost him
$2,000. Right.
It costs $2,000 now.
Right. Because everyone's buying up. That was fascinating. It's funny, as he was leading up to that. This is, by the way, you can, if you just search Rick Beato on YouTube, you'll find this video. It's called "I Was Right About AI." What I found fascinating about that is, as he was leading up to that, I was thinking, 2 years ago I had to pay $200. Now it's $100. It's cheap. It's the exact opposite. It's fascinating. Go ahead, Frank.
Since we're on the topic of AI, I just wanted to share. I think I put it in the chat, but I'll just screen share it. A colleague of mine told me about this documentary about AI. It's called the AI Doc, or How I Became a I can't say that. Anyways, Optimus Apocalypse.
Wait, you're sharing your Zoom screen instead
Oh, am
of.
I?
Yeah.
Boo. Hold on. I'll start over.
Sorry about that.
Should be this one. You should be seeing it now.
Yeah, there you go.
Anyways, I highly recommend it. I watched it, and
Ooh. The
very-
AI doc.
very compelling, interesting. Anyways, the link's in the chat. Worth a watch.
Let's see. I just want to see where you can watch it. Oh, it's on
Pri-
Peacock or
Prime-
Prime Video. Oh, great!
Prime,
Look at
Apple
that.
TV, probably most of the places you can see things.
This is a friend of yours?
No, a friend of mine, a colleague at work.
Oh,
we
recommended.
have an AI group at work where we discuss AI topics relevant to what we do, and he's a documentary filmmaker, and he watched this and liked it and told us all about it, so we watched it.
Wow, fascinating. All right, this is a great one. Thank you. Oh, cool.
Well, I would like to say that getting to Zoom for a change, we might even get there. I'm finding it very interesting in Zoom how there is a lot of AI in Zoom. I mean, Zoom says it's an AI first company, so there is a lot of AI in Zoom. But the world of Zoom seems to be breaking into two bits. There is things which AI does for you automatically, like summaries of meetings and things like that. And then everything else that AI you want to do where they're going to charge you seems to be moving into this AI mate area. So worrying about spending too much on AI, I feel that if you are in that case with Zoom, you don't use AI mate, you just make use of the other AI tools, which seem to be bundled in with whatever they're being part of. And you don't end up with a big bill at the end of the year or the end of the month from Zoom. So at least they stop that runaway problem that we all seem to be worried about now, that we're just spending oodles and noodles on Zoom and we don't know on AI, and we don't know what's going to happen until we get to the end of the month. So I don't know who thought of it, but thank you, Zoom, for doing that, because at least I can ring fence what I'm going to spend and what I'm not going to spend.
While this isn't Zoom, you just made me think of it, and it's connected also to what we were talking about last week, Frank, about how, at least up until now and still now, but within Zoom, you can't see kind of a ticker of what you've spent in an easy way. As we've talked about, I use Lovable, and Lovable just up until now, there were credits for cloud and AI. So your storage and your this and your whatever. And I mean, you can think of it as a plan or storage, but a plan or credits. And then there were credits for actually using the tool, which itself is an AI tool. They now have bundled those together. So you just buy credits and then it's kind of for everything. And it feels so much less transparent. It feels so much less clear where my money's actually going. So I'm with you. And one of the big things, actually, John, that jumped out to me about the release notes for 7.1 is that they are retiring not AI Companion, but they're retiring the name AI Companion.
That's right.
And they're essentially just saying
it's just some of its bits seem to be disappearing into their features that, like example I gave them, a meeting summary, and then the other bits, the paid bits, are emerging into ZoomMate.
ZoomMate, exactly. I mean, essentially what they're doing is they're saying you don't need a name for this. It's just how you work in Zoom. It's just, this is how you get work done. And if you need more, we have ZoomMate, which essentially is what Apple is trying to do also. I think it's that it's Shlomo is just going to be there and you'll just use it. And they said very little about Apple Intelligence in their announcements. It was all just Siri. You're going to use her, and if you need more, you'll be able to get extra from you pay extra at Apple and then access extra directly from Gemini or whatever your LLM of choice is. Robert and Frank, go for it.
Yeah, I was listening to a podcast this week where one of the analysts compared what's happening. Well, compared what's happening with tokens and credit in the AI world with phone calls and data. Remember when we used to we were charged per phone call, per minute of usage, or per packet of data over a mobile? And then they got the stats and they realized what they could do and how the exchange rates between different operators could generate them more money than just the collecting money from the end users. And this guy says that this is exactly where we are now. They need to get the data to understand what they can charge for, what they can use just to get people to stick to the service. And yeah.
Wow, fascinating, Frank.
So many topics to touch on, but just I'm going to touch on one. Apple. A lot of people have criticized Apple for 2 years ago announcing AI and then not really coming through, and now having to rely on Google to supply their AI in the meantime. But one interesting podcast I listened to last week was sort of saying, in some respects, AI is losing money for every company. Like, all the tokens are being subsidized; they're not recovering. A lot of the companies are losing billions of dollars every month. Apple, by not having an AI platform ready, saved $200 billion in money so far, and they can join, which Apple often does. They're not always the first company to market with a product or service or tool, but they usually, when they do release it, they release it in a refined, more elegant way than maybe other people have released it, like MP3 players, where Apple wasn't first. Cell phones, Apple wasn't first. But when they do enter a market, they change the market a lot. So time will tell, right?
You heard, I think it was on MacBreak Weekly this week, maybe, that it's going to be really interesting to see what happens, how Apple reacts when everyone finally has this in their hands and they're using it, and Apple gets their first bill from Google for all the cloud Gemini usage.
I'm sure they've already pre-figured all that out. They would have forecast it. They probably have some kind of sweet deal, or they wouldn't do it, right?
Oh, of course, yeah. But I think it'll depend on how good it is and what the adoption rate is, and everything that I've been seeing, it's pretty darn good.
When and if Apple releases their own native Apple Intelligence and it's hardwired directly into the operating system of your phone, you know how many Apple phones are on the planet? Like, obviously it won't be retroactive to older technology, but as Apple sells new phones and is baked in, that's a lot of users.
What this is?
Apple said at WDC that certain things will work on existing hardware, but a lot of the exciting things are going to do, you'll need a newer chipset. But when that time does come, and if it does come, that Apple releases Apple Intelligence of their own baked into the operating system, that's a lot of users using AI. Some of them for the grandma, grandpa, people who have never touched AI, or at least knowingly touched AI.
But I think that's exactly what's going to happen in the fall.
Well, yeah, but they're riding on Google though.
Yes.
I'm saying when they have their very, very own, they haven't given up on their own models.
You don't think really? You think they're going to go for their own model?
Yeah, they have their own models. They just weren't ready. They just weren't ready for prime time, and the stock market demands that everyone do something with AI.
Yeah.
Like, hey, I'm a tuna factory, but I've got AI on the side of the can. Like, it doesn't matter right now. If you're not doing something AI, your stock isn't going to go as far as it should, or that you would like it to.
Yeah, David, the biggest concern that I would have as Apple is it's good that Apple watched Microsoft and how Microsoft backpedaled right now. And Apple's got to be very, very careful right now, because the abundance of hatred of Microsoft, the way that they implemented AI into their operating system, is profound, large. There's a large community.
This is critical because I'm not a Microsoft user, so this is just based on what I've heard. Is that rather than what I imagine is going to happen with Siri AI is that you will never see it until you want to see it. right? And when you call it over, it'll be there. My understanding with Microsoft is that it was kind of the opposite, is that they were encouraging you, like Google does sometimes, in their products, where the Gemini sidebar will pop up out of nowhere and, hey, want to ask me a question? Is that where they went wrong?
Yeah, they started baking it into programs, and basically, certain functionality decided to disappear because it's being replaced by AI.
Right.
And yeah, a lot of the products that were, staples of Microsoft products, so Notepad, Paint, now both of them have AI built into it, so you can actually generate paint images via AI. Or you want Notepad, which was just a plain old text editor for the most part. Now all of a sudden has AI built into it. So now all of a sudden, if you're having a problem with what you're writing in Notepad, not even Word here, we're just talking regular Notepad, you can actually now have AI assist you in your Notepad writing. And it went too far. So that's where I'm saying Apple's got to be careful that they don't go too far, because the backlash for Microsoft right now is large.
And by the way, and then I'll come to you, John. I just want to bring us back to Zoom, because we've spent a couple of weeks now looking at paper and canvas and slides and sheets, and trying to understand how all these pieces fit together. And My Docs, there's still a thing that says My Docs in the side panel, My Notes. How do all of these pieces fit together? Where is Zoom wanting to push us? And what does it want us to use? And how they, I think, are also, for the longest time. I'll just show you this. Sorry, John. Just this one last thing. For the longest time that I can remember, in the app, almost fully half of your screen is what will no longer be AI Companion on Monday. We'll have to see what happens to this. I can't imagine that this will disappear, but this isn't even, it doesn't start off as a little tiny thing. It is fully almost half the screen by default, I believe. So they're also pushing.
And David, go to the web browser version of AI Companion.
Yeah. How would I get there?
ai.zoom.us or .com. Yeah.
ai.zoom.us. ZoomMate is ready to help.
That used to be.
Oh yeah, look at that.
And what did that used to be, everybody? Zoom AI Companion.
But why is this? This is because everyone gets the 500 credits free. Right. I keep forgetting that.
Yeah.
Everyone gets this 500 credits free. Yeah. John, I'm sorry. I was cutting you off before.
Actually, you fed into what I was going to say very nicely. I spent about half an hour, 3/4 of an hour this afternoon, and I was amazingly planning one of our Lord Zoom lives 2 hours before we did it, which is good for me, because usually I'm doing it the hour before. So I started with some ideas, and I thought, well, I haven't got the time to do this all. I better get some help from AI. So I used ChatGPT because it was just the easiest to get hold of. And I asked ChatGPT to give me some more ideas around my subject, and then we organized them into slides. And then I had a problem, because if I wanted to put those slides into Zoom, I could pull up Zoom, but if I wanted it to take that text and turn it to slides, I was going to have to use the AI. So if I didn't want to spend the money on the AI, I could still do the slides, but I'd have to cut and paste them by hand. So that was the difference between using Google Sheets, Zoom. There are certain things you can do with AI, but you get to a point where the AI in Zoom wants you to pay for it. But if you don't have ZoomMate enabled, you can't do those things. So, like I said, there's a choice there to be made. Do I want to spend money, tokens? Am I going to spend money to have this presentation turned into something for me? Now, if I'm a corporate, I've probably got a big budget, and corporate will probably prefer the employee to roll out those slides quickly with a bit of help from AI in Zoom and then get on with their next job. Whereas a smaller business person may look more closely at their budget and think, oh, I don't know if I really want to spend it on that. And they'll use some other tool. And that's a good example of something which is actually not complicated, but it could be. It could get out of hand. And maybe if my local machine could turn that into slides for me, I'd rather it did it. Because I have a Mac Studio, which I'm not using as much as I thought I would. So that has now become my local AI knowledge base. And it can do quite a lot of stuff for me. It's nearly as clever as Uncle Claude. And it takes a bit longer, but that's fine because I'm not that quick anyhow. And it allows me to do things locally without me having to pay lots and lots of money, because when I use AI, especially when I'm using it for coding, I've got such complicated, and of course you know the same thing because you've developed some software as well, David. I've got a really complicated app. In fact, it's like 5 apps in one, but they're all together because they all use each other's features. So rather than having to manage 5 of them and keep updating all 5, I've got them all in one. The bad news for that is every time I ask Uncle Claude a question, it's like 1,500 tokens before it even understands what the question was and has the information out of the system to answer it. So the difference with the analogy of buying the mobile phone is when you were on a mobile phone and you were calling people, you knew how many minutes we're using because minutes were a definable thing. You knew how long a minute was. When we started using data, you had less understanding of how much data it took. Now, a lot of us here are technical and would know all that, but the average user would not know how much data it would take to run particular apps. And I feel that we're in that world with AI at the moment. We can give AI jobs to do, but we don't know how many tokens it's going to take to produce something. And the frustration I'm sure we've all felt is that you ask it to do something and the tokens rack up and it gives you an answer. And then you ask it to do something based on what you've just asked it. But it has a memory. Rubbish. It's got like this little infinitesimally small memory that just remembers what your name is. It goes back and it redoes 3/4 of what you asked before to do the extra little bit that you've asked for. So it's a totally inefficient system. And it's an inefficient system because there's no advantage at this point for any of the AI companies to make it efficient. If they had better memories of the things that we do, it wouldn't take another 1,500 tokens when all I said was, I love that image. Can you just plate this bit blue? Or can you make that pop up to the right-hand side instead of the left-hand side? It's a totally inefficient system at the moment. And until it gets competitive, and there's no interest in them in reducing our costs by reducing our tokens.
And translating that to Zoom language, that's instead of tokens, they just call it credits. So,
yeah.
You know, at the top of my of that AI page that you sent me to, I have 500 credits. And that was an interesting question. Do we think that this will last or no? It says underneath it in very, very light. Let me see if I can bring that up for you. Cursor. In very, very light, limited time only. So yes, we will have this for a very limited time, these 500 credits. And then, you know, like we've been saying, you'll have the basic stuff throughout. But if you really want the powerful stuff, you're going to have to pay for it. And on top of that, we will continue to not really understand what a credit means, what a credit gets us. I think it was Frank and Robert, and go for it.
Couple of things. I think what John said was pretty interesting and important. You know, let's talk about cars for a second. Fuel efficiency standards regulated by governments. Who's regulating the AI companies to be efficient so that we don't get price gouged? Where are the consumer rights in all of this? You know, it's like...
Well, be careful what you ask for, because Dario Amodei said the government needs to be regulating AI, and then they came in and regulated it right out of our hands and out of our computers.
You know, the free market always hates regulation. It stifles innovation. That's always their battle cry, right? But Somehow consumers always seem to do a lot worse when no one's looking out for us, right?
For sure. Absolutely. Robert, go ahead.
I just wanted to say that my experience is slightly different. Maybe it's because I'm using different tools for different projects, but I basically use Grok for all of my manuals, and I'm searching for instructions for manuals and stuff like that. I use Grok, and I have Gemini that he does all of my integration and programming work for our business. And with Gemini, because we have Gemini Workplace for Business, I don't have that issue of running into tokens because it's parceled into the package. There is a limit. I'm sure there's a ceiling somewhere, but it's not something that is reachable. And I've spent a lot of time when we were setting up recently. We had this really big challenge because with interpretation, we had an event where there were 5,000 people, and we had people coming in to collect interpretation devices to listen to the interpretation during events. And we calculated that we have around 15 seconds to be able to distribute a piece of equipment and to identify who's taking it. So it had to be a scan of the equipment and a scan of the badge of the person who's going into the event. And we programmed those on scanners. And this took, we had 4 guys working here full time for nearly 2 weeks. And they were using Gemini to do that full time. And we didn't hit any ceiling at all. And that was very, very intense work. So I'm not sure how this works in terms of programming, because Gemini was doing all of the JavaScript programming that we needed for these individual apps that we had for the scripts and for the spreadsheets that we were using to
So
connect to the.
yeah, that's fascinating. I wonder, I'm having a very different experience on a different tool, Lovable, where I'm burning through credits. But it's entirely possible that I'm just getting ripped off and that, Google is doing it right. Their business edition of Gemini for enterprise, it says here 25 gigabyte storage and data indexing per seat pooled. And up to 75 on the standard or plus editions. Again, I don't really know what that means, but as far as what that doesn't tell me what I can get done with that. I don't know. And then we have things like Notebook LM, which doesn't cost anything. As I understand it, it's anyone can use it for free, and it's incredibly powerful. And now it's using now it's using 3.5, the latest Gemini model. Go ahead, Frank, please.
Somewhere in my travels, I read or heard the AI companies are still training their models, and these models are data hungry. So maybe companies or products like Notebook LM are free right now because the more things you feed into it, you're helping build the product. And when they finally feel that it's ready, they'll say, no more free credits.
They're using that. I wonder if I don't know if there's a terms of service over there that says that we're using, that they're using that data. That's interesting.
Same model as YouTube.
Is it?
Well, initially YouTube, you could put in anything you wanted on YouTube, and suddenly they became the owner, and they could use it, they could index it, and they could put advertising on it, and all sorts of things.
You're reminding me, this is a deja vu because I said this last week. And there was a company I heard of who did video communications called Zoom, I think it was. And they used to have free accounts. And of course, everybody found it so useful, they ended up paying for it. So it's a model that works. But if we don't know how, we are in this dubious world at the moment where we don't know how many tokens we're spending. We don't know if they're running at a loss or we're paying the real value. And so we're in this really weird world at the moment. And the only thing I can say is don't get yourself in any situation where you don't think that you could drop anything you do with AI unless you feel that it's really paying back, because you don't know how much, as you say, you don't know how much it's going to cost in the future when this all settles down.
Look at
maybe
this.
That'll be 20 years time and I'll be dead by then and I don't have to worry. But you just don't know how long it's going to be before we really have to pay for what we use, etc.
Right. So this is a pricing help page and limit page for Notebook LM. This is fantastic. This is just fantastic. So you've got let's see, the standard, plus, pro, ultra, and I guess super special ultra. I don't know. But if you scroll down, look at this: data tables, limited, more limits, high limits, higher limits, highest limits. What? That's fantastic. I mean, that is an art form of saying nothing. Real, it's just that's fascinating. Go ahead, Frank, please.
I put something in the chat that illustrates. It's about I think an artist named Eminem. You've probably heard of him. Anyways, suing for all of his music being used to train models to make songs. Right?
He is. Wow.
And he's maybe the first of who knows how many artists who are going to sue, but also all these LLMs were trained on pirated documents, movies, videos, every kind of media possible, without compensation to any of the authors for their intellectual property, their efforts, or anything. It reminds me of a time when I was much younger when there was this thing called Napster, and consumers were stealing, and people were suing the consumers who were stealing. How come these big corporations can just digest all of humanity's efforts and not compensate anyone for it?
So I'm going to get into trouble for this, but I'll just say it. I have an issue with that argument.
Remember, you're an MVP. Behave yourself.
No, it has nothing to do with Zoom. I have an issue with that argument. And I have issue from both ends. From the top end, that is the M&Ms of the world, who've made millions of dollars doing what they're very good at. I'm not suggesting he doesn't deserve every penny of it. He's made millions of dollars. He's not losing out because some LLM listened to his songs.
That's an outrageous example, though. What about people?
Wait, but let me finish.
Okay.
That's the high end, right?
Yeah, okay.
The low end is a bunch of people like me who I have 6 albums out. I've put songs out. I've written, I have stuff out there on the marketplace, but I've never, I didn't do it to make money. So it was a more hobby for me. That's a lot of it also. It's the middle group that's getting screwed. It's the independent publishers. Those are the folks in the middle who if their stuff is being stolen or used for LLMs for free, but there's an argument against that also, because if we don't include their stuff in LLMs, then their stuff is going to disappear. Their content will disappear. You can choose to be part of the future, or you can choose not to be part of the future.
I don't buy that argument. Books have been around for a long time. Books aren't going anywhere. Other kinds of creative efforts aren't going anywhere. I think it's outrageous that 5 tech billionaires can say we're going to consume all of humanity's efforts, and then sue people if you try to do anything to them. It's completely unethical.
Oh, I don't disagree with that at all. Yeah, Robert, go ahead.
Just wanted to say that we haven't found that other platform that isn't associated with these big 5 tech companies that will allow us to do what you exactly talked about, David. Put out copyrighted material that people can't in one way or the other take and steal. And this has been the story of our lives. Look at CDs, look at music, until AI came along. And so there's the question is, what is that technology? When will it appear?
I don't know. Again, for me, look, I get a check every month for about $3.18 from my music distributor, from people who've listened to my music on Spotify and wherever it is. So again, this is not where I make money, but if someone steals my music, if someone plays my music illegally, honestly, I'm kind of flattered. Like they
Well,
want to hear they like my music.
Good for you. That's your opinion. That's not every artist's
Of
opinion.
course it's not. Of course it's not everyone's opinion. It's only my opinion. I'm just saying that if you are being materially hurt by this, then you have a case to make. Absolutely. If you're not being materially hurt, like me or Eminem, then again, we can choose to leave ourselves out of those systems that are aggregating information and are serving answers. But if I ever want my ideas to be included amongst the possible answers that someone might get, then my writings and my ideas need to be included in that aggregator. Now, maybe it's not being done fairly, but to just take my ball and go home and say, well, I don't know what that accomplishes.
Well, I strongly disagree with you, but I respect your right to have that
No,
opinion.
I want to hear though. Because I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. I'm just making stuff
Copyright
up.
has been a bludgeon against regular people since, let's say the 50s or 40s. It used to be copyright was invented to allow the person who had an ability to create something to get usefulness and profit out of it for their lifetime. How come Mickey Mouse is still under copyright by Walt Disney after what's it been 100 years now? Like it seems like big business always seems to get their cake and eat it too, and regular people never get that. And maybe that's just the way of the world, but I can sit here and say I disagree with it. I think it's unethical. I think it's wrong. I think it's wrong that 5 tech billionaires are deciding how the world's going to be and the rest of humanity has to go along with it. And if you're okay with someone getting your songs and putting them into the LLMs so you can be part of the conversation, I applaud that, but I still think it's ethically wrong. And
No, fair enough.
I think that, maybe AI doesn't have to progress as fast as it's progressing so that corporate interests and the stock market can be at an all-time high. I don't care about that. I think there's a bigger picture, which is humanity's right and the right to your own thoughts and your own way of expressing without corporations gobbling it up with no remuneration.
Did you hear what? And then John and Robert, did you hear what Stephen Colbert did on the way out? I just read this the other day. So on his last show, he had the band. This was all prearranged. He had the band play a little snippet from the Peanuts, do 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 do, which is heavily copyrighted and they are very litigious. And he said, I hope CBS doesn't get fined. Well, he had made arrangements with the Peanuts office so that they would, in fact, sue, or not sue, but I guess, say, hey, you have to pay us for that. And then every cent that CBS paid them, they then donated to World Central Kitchen, which is Stephen Colbert's charity of choice, which I thought that was a brilliant move to use. I mean, it wasn't using the copyright against the copyright holder. It was using copyright against another corporation, but I thought in a really beautiful way. But I agree with you. I don't think you and I are disagreement. John and Robert, please.
Let me give you another angle to this AI eating data scenario. It never bothered to check if any of the information it gathered was right or wrong, was explicit, was hateful. It just hoovered up everything. And that's why it comes out with these ridiculous views now and again, because nothing it ever learned whether it was good or bad. It just hoovered up all the information in the world. So if you write the correct question about some horrible person, it's only going to find the data on that horrible person and give it to you as if it's real. And I don't think I ever want a AI robot in my house, because it doesn't matter what you do, AI seems to agree with you, even if it disagreed with you in the question you had before. So it'd be, AI, I'm 95, I've had enough, I'm going to slit my wrist. It would say, oh, John, that sounds like a really good idea. Would you like me to get you a towel so we don't ruin the carpet?
Well, we've seen the lawsuits about that.
No,
right?
it would
Exactly.
send you 5 links to how to do it or
Right.
something.
Now we've
There
seen the
is no
lawsuits about
filtering.
that. Yeah.
There's no
The-
correction. It's just data.
Yeah. AI.
And that's what scares me the most.
OpenAI just put out yesterday, John, this video, Meet the OpenAI Global Physician Network. And it talks about I don't remember exactly how many, they talk about how many physicians they have in it here. Here it is, 160 doctors, 185 doctors, excuse me, 18 specialties, and then it goes to 60 countries, and then you meet some of these doctors. But the point of this is that they are saying their job is to check everything that we hoovered up, because you're of course you're right, and we have real human beings checking this information to make sure
After the fact.
after the fact, yes. I'm not defending it. I'm just saying they
Sure.
put this out. Yeah,
You're just reporting.
yeah. Robert,
So-
you want to jump in?
Welcome to the rundown. If you thought you'd turned in the Zoom
yeah.
test kitchen.
Sorry.
No, I just for the audience, I'm just recognizing we're way off topic today.
Yes, we will get to the notes. Let's get Robert in, then we'll
I
get out of
just
this.
wanted to say that I actually think that Eminem is doing a graceful job, because it needs someone who has the resources like he does, the contacts, the brand, the awareness, the power to get through media, to make this thing happen. Because there's going to, if this works out for him, it'll be a precedence that you, David, will be able to quote when you take someone to court.
No, you're right. You're right. Like if I had a beef with this, I don't have the wherewithal to do anything about it. You're absolutely right about that. Yep. All right.
Let's welcome and start off with on Zoom.
Let's do some Zerm. What is Zerm?
Zerm, that's good. I like
You
that.
are now the
David.
official mascot of Zoom, Zerm.
That was a great discussion. Thank you. And I kind of feel like Hasmuk's character. I don't know if that's a character I'm supposed to recognize, but in the whole topic of AI and I guess committing to certain ones and then going, oh, is this the right one? Is this the best one to use? Should I switch over to Gemini? Should I switch over to Claude? Like, it's just I find it all very overwhelming. And my brain is having to learn a new one every time you start to explore or work with it. And I don't know if it can be compared to something else that we've experienced, but for me, it just sometimes becomes very overwhelming to navigate,
Indeed.
and not feel like, oh, if I don't use what, I don't know, Grok, then I'm missing out on whatever. It's that whole FOMO comes in, and then you've gone deep. You have a relationship with chat, with all your projects and your chats and your files and your whatever. And then to have to kind of like now migrate over to something else feels like it's a lot of work. I just have all these thoughts on it. But anyway, I just wanted to share. Thank you.
No, absolutely. Before we go on, USA 2, Australia 0. Okay.
At the half. At the half.
Is this the half already?
Yes.
God, it's a nice quick game. I like soccer now. Okay.
This is the point where they all rush off to the bar to have a drink.
Oh, is that what happens now? Okay. Incidentally, I just clicked my Stream Deck button for toggle view, and the notes thing opened. I don't know why. I don't know if that's a bug or maybe I pressed something wrong. All right. We've got 7.1 coming out this week. This is what, Frank, you were kind of teasing us about, I think last week or the week before, that you had seen some of this stuff. There are a couple of things in here that really jumped out at me, but before we go through it, did anything really jump out for you that you saw in here? Or anyone else for that matter? Did anything else jump out?
A couple of things, but let's just go through it one by one.
Okay.
I mean, it's all interesting.
All right. So slides, sheets, and paper are coming to mobile. I'm not a mobile user, but I have to say, if you don't have parity, at least in access, if not in functionality on both platforms, then it throws people off. So I'm glad to see the slide sheets and paper.
I don't use Excel on my phone, but if you're the kind of business person who has to have your data everywhere you go,
I
then
agree.
yeah, they need to have it on
Yep.
both platforms.
100%. Yeah, I'm a Google Sheets guy. It's impossible on my phone, but I have to be able to get in. That's all there is to it.
But aren't we forgetting about iPads here?
Sure. No, you're right.
And that's where a lot of people do use these.
That makes a lot more sense. Yeah. See, I'm not an iPad user. That makes a lot more sense. You're right.
Tablets, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah. AI companion name, only name, has been retired. AI features will still just be called AI.
So Zoom has never been afraid of renaming things. It's amazing how much they rename things.
Yeah. I like this. I AI companion never worked for me. It's AI, whatever. Just like
It's going to be so confusing, though. Imagine doing tech support for someone and they keep saying AI and they don't mention Zoom in the context.
Oh, that's true.
You're just going to, like, if you say AI companion, I know you're talking about Zoom. If you say AI and you don't mention the word Zoom, I'm going to have no idea you're talking about Zoom AI.
That's a really good point. Yeah. Okay, so now there will be on the Marketplace tab. Why can I not make this bigger? Don't make my embiggen button isn't working. Oh, that's why. I'm a jerk. All right. On the Marketplace tab in the Zoom Workplace desktop, users can discover. Well, let's first find the Marketplace. Is there now a Marketplace tab? Let me see. Zoom mate. There is. Not that I can see. I do not see a Marketplace tab. I'm looking on my app, Zoom Workplace desktop app. So this looks like it will be a new thing. Surfacing contextual sections. Apps
I have it in my More menu.
Yeah, that's where I'm looking for it too. Is it called Marketplace for you?
Yeah, it's called Apps.
Oh, it's called Apps. Oh, that we've had that forever. And then there's Add Apps. But there isn't a thing called Marketplace. I guess that on the Marketplace tab in the Zoom Workplace desktop app.
Yeah, they just named it wrongly because
I think
it is a Zoom Marketplace, but it's called Apps.
I wonder if they're changing the name. I don't know. Interesting. Okay. Enhancements to notifications and sound settings. When to notify me. This is in the mobile app. Notify me when to notify me. Set Canvas Docs notifications. Okay. The admin configure tab, ordering for Zoom Workplace mobile app. All right. So this I thought was interesting. These two together. Video thumbnail capture in local recordings. When record video during screen share is enabled, local recordings continue to include participant videos during screen sharing, even if the presenter displays the full meeting window. Even if the presenter displays the full meeting window, changes the meeting view, or hides the floating video thumbnails, which I would do all the time if I were screen sharing, just so I can have a clean screen. If the floating thumbnails are unavailable, Zoom records participant videos from the current meeting view and displays them alongside the content. Previously, video participants could be missing from local recordings in these scenarios.
That's been a pretty regular, common complaint of people in the on the community forums. People have recorded stuff and then they don't seem to have everything. So I think that's what they're doing in Zoom. They're covering them from losing all the people in the recordings, which is a good move.
And record video, local recordings. Okay, because in the cloud, you can say record the screen share separately, record the gallery separately. So this is local records. Okay,
yeah, local recordings, you get what you see.
You get what you
see.
You see what you get. Yep.
So they're stopping you losing all the people when you do that.
Great. Hi, James. Good to see you. Support management of screen capture capabilities for meeting content. Account owners and admins will have the option or to enable or disable users' ability to capture a screenshot during Zoom meetings. This is fascinating. This is really interesting. This is an obvious security step, and I don't think it's a bad idea at all. I don't know how they're going to do this. When the setting is enabled, the Zoom meeting window will be rendered inaccessible or invisible to certain print screen functions and screen capture tools on the device. This means that when users attempt to capture shared content, screens, videos, whiteboards, in-meeting chat, captions, polls, and quizzes, the Zoom window will not appear in the captured image. This helps maintain content security. Then the important caveat does not prevent screen capture using mobile phones, cameras, or other external techniques, which frankly is how everyone that I've ever seen do this. They're not doing it. They don't know how to screen capture on their computer. That's how I would do it. They take out their mobile phone, they point it at it, and then they take a picture.
Just like at a conference, a live conference, where you get
Right.
people standing up and taking
Sure.
pictures of the slides.
So I completely understand why they're doing this. This to me is a technical fix for a non-technical problem.
I have a feeling this will be circumvented by savvy users in no time, and it'll only slow down people who are not good at technology.
Mm-hmm. I agree 100%. And again, I think they probably had to do it, but
that means
support
the instead of the normal OS, it's sent to the kind of secure area, and that's why it's invisible.
Say that again.
Well, like with anything with screen capture, like on the Mac, there's 2 layers you could actually send stuff to. And if you're just sending just straight MP4s or like video, they go to like your normal operating system presenting, and then other things like Netflix and other places that do not want you to be able to grab things, send it to the secure
Enclave.
render.
Right, which is why bootlegged videos are often, you can tell that someone is holding their camera up to a screen and videoing it. Automatic disabling for AI features for restricted users. This sounds like something that, I don't know, Frank, you probably do this on a much larger, higher enterprise level, but
Actually, I don't actually understand. Like, I understand what they're saying here, except for one thing. How do you define who a restricted user is? That's the part I like. Is it?
Oh, okay.
Like, it doesn't explain it, and I haven't seen it before, so I don't know how it technically will work, or how do you define who's restricted?
Oh, I thought I had read it as if I want to restrict someone. But I understand now. Yeah,
I
now
can
I'm
see, like,
seeing it.
maybe the restriction is if you're not part of the organization.
Yes.
Or maybe there's a list that you create that these people. I don't know how it's going to work.
I don't know how you do yours, but we had changed our healthcare people from being on a separate server to being in a particular group that has policies that say they can't do a certain amount of things. So I wonder if it's that group base, which they always had. So that's why I'm.
Well, I know that Zoom has, like, in the admin panel, has features where you can say external users, and then there's things you can do, like either allow them to record or not record, or put a notice on the screen that they're an external user. So I don't know what this means yet. I like, it's interesting. I just don't know what it means until they release more information.
And so, I mean, I'm just saying, like, so there's the external users, which has always been kind of separate, but then there's like groups, and you can set policies for particular groups.
No, I understand that. I just don't know what a restricted user
Yeah,
means
yeah.
in this context.
People I don't like. I don't know.
This next one, I actually think is a great idea. And we've talked a bunch of times. We've asked the question, when you join a meeting, are you able to see the chat or the transcript or whatever from before when you were in the meeting? So now there's the support AI catch-up prompt for late joiners. When you join a meeting late, you're automatically shown a pop-up offering to use AI to summarize what you've missed.
I certainly hope that can be turned off by the host on a per host by meeting per host.
Because
ability.
if you're because if you're having, if you're starting a meeting in closed session and then everyone else is joining afterward.
Well, just for attendance, what if I want my class to show up on time, or to like, I want you here at the beginning of class, and you say, well, I don't have to be here on time. I can just ask the AI what I missed, and I'll show up 6 minutes before class is over. Like, I know a lot of users who are going to say, I don't want them, if they the incentive is if you want all the information, show up when the thing starts.
Yeah, I can absolutely see that argument, and I can see the flip side that I'm in my car because I got stuck in traffic for the first 10
Oh, I
minutes of the
agree.
meeting, and I wasn't able to. Yeah.
What I'm
It
saying is,
definitely goes both
I hope
ways.
the user, like the host of the meeting, can define whether
Be
or
able
not
to
it's on
toggle
or
it on or
off.
off. Absolutely, yeah. By the way, we should talk also maybe later about the avatar thing that you shared. What was it called? World of
Yeah,
what
there's a
was it?
few of them. John Edelson was here last week talking about it.
No, but the partnership that Zoom just made about so you can detect avatars that are in your meeting.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
John was mentioning it last week.
Oh, it was okay. That was a fascinating article. Robert, go ahead.
Yeah, and WebEx has introduced that about 2 months ago, so I think that's why they're
Checking
Zoom.
for humanity.
Yeah.
Really?
And for imposters basically in your meeting. And the interesting thing is that their conclusion is if they do identify an imposter, the best thing is to close the meeting and start a new one from a security point of view. That's the
You can't just kick them out.
you don't know how many of them are in the meeting. Yeah. Anyway, coming back to this AI catch-up prompt, I've got a different use case because we hold a lot of management board meetings for companies, and during those meetings, there's certain people who are not meant to have access to certain part of the meeting, so we have to have that restricted by the host.
Yeah. By the way, Matt, I mean Mike. Let's go do Matt. Sorry, Mike. If you're able to, just let me know if my screen is clear on YouTube. If it's not, I can switch to a traditional screen share. Or anyone can let me know.
No, you're fine. You're
Okay.
fine on YouTube.
Right.
I put
All
a
right, I just
link
wanted to make
to
sure.
I put a link to World ID in there.
Oh, great.
Universal proof of human.
That's just amazingly fascinating to me that here we are having to prove that we're human.
I don't know enough about this, but to me, I don't want a corporation in charge of this. I want some kind of world, like the UN or somebody, world
right
governance. I don't want corporations deciding.
Look at this. You're now human verified.
So
What?
does this mean I actually have to go to meetings instead of having my fake avatar go to the meetings? Dang it.
All right, hold on.
It's quite amazing that you're not identifying fake users.
What if you don't pay your bill to this corporation? Users. Do they say you're not a human? Sorry, your human status is revoked until you put another $30 on your credit card.
The app, for what it's worth, does not say it. It doesn't have one of those tags that says that we sell you stuff inside. So
there's other companies vying to be the leaders in this area. It's not. This is just one company, though, right? But I mean,
hello, human. My app says. I'm sorry. I'm not. Hello, Mensch. That wasn't Hebrew, was it? What? No. Okay. I'm sorry, I can't show this on the world is your human ID. Yes. Okay. I'm going to log in. I don't really know what I'm doing.
It's almost like a trap to have a world ID system so they can come and find us when you say something agitating. Conspiracy theory number one.
Which I'm known to do. Account not found. Oh my God.
You're less than human.
I'm not human. There isn't even, wait.
I thought you were an avatar this whole time.
Wait. Oh, no, I see my problem. So wait, this is so weird. So this is the, here, let me put this in front so you can see. So, right, you've got the world as your app store, and then down at the bottom, there's the terms of service. Then at the bottom, you see there's a login button. There is a sign up button above that, but you can't press it. So I clicked the only button I could press. What I didn't realize is that no, I didn't mean to click on it. I don't want to actually read it. Hold on. No, go back.
Nobody ever reads those things.
Once you click now I can sign up to be a human. Okay. There we go.
I understand the need for verification in this changing world, but I'm just like very nervous about who gets to decide or who gets to control these things.
I need an invite code. another human has to invite? I don't know.
Again, I feel like the technology is advancing faster than the regulations and the understanding and the wisdom of the human race.
Right, I don't want that. Now I
This
have to
thing,
connect my phone.
this whole conversation sounds like a scene from what was it? The Holy Mary, the film that came out.
The life, the life of Brian. No,
No, no, no.
I don't know.
Oh God, let me just Google it.
Mighty Python seems apt right about now.
Okay, so for this, you have to verify your humanity with an orb. So option number 1, am I with an orb? Don't think I am. Option number 2, I have to find an orb. So I'm gonna try and find an orb.
Hopefully, John Edelson comes back because he seems to know more about this than.
Allow location. By the way, to prove that I'm human, I have had to click so many allows on this. Orb locations.
What would stop
Find-
an LLM from doing this?
Oh, look at this. Sawgrass at 28 miles away.
So you have
is
to go there
my
and buy a
closest
latte to
orb.
be considered human? Is that what it's going to
Yes.
say?
I have to go to the Sawgrass Mills Mall and purchase some Lululemon.
Can I divert us for 1 second? Because you made me think of something.
Oh, for 1 second?
Well, just there. I was just hearing this podcast. There's a movement in the United States by certain individuals, and I don't remember all the details because I listened to too many podcasts, to allow LLMs to start their own corporations autonomously.
Did they give them a budget and things like that?
Can you imagine that? Like
Wow.
a corporate entity that's not even founded by a human.
Yeah.
The film that I was referring to is called The Project Hail Mary. It's
Oh,
a
I've heard
science
of that.
fi-
Yeah.
It's a science fiction film. It's worth watching because you've only got one human being there out in outer space trying to communicate who he is, what he does, and
Yep. All right. Let's get back to it. So that's late joiners, recent files and tile improvements in screen share. So now you will be able to easily share up to 6, not up to 6 files, sorry, 6 files will appear when you open your screen share. These are files from the productivity suite, from Sheets, Paper, and Slides. There will also be a new Files tab where you can view all your files. That makes perfect sense. Better integration of these tools within the meeting itself.
Maybe it makes perfect sense, but people were pretty mad when Zoom changed to having all those tiles of screen shares, especially when you have multiple people screen sharing simultaneously. Now you're going to have more tabs to sort through.
Right. So here's the screen share tab. So presumably under they will all live here under files.
Oh, before you share. I was thinking as you were sharing, everyone would. Okay.
I think what they're talking about is here. I think.
Yeah, okay. That makes more sense.
That you will now see. So we've got entire screen, application windows, and they will now make, it looks to me like Zoom AI Productivity Suite documents in the share window. Oh, no, it's only going to be from files. Sorry, it's going to only be over here. So, yeah, I guess these will just disappear and you'll see the productivity suite up here, which makes perfect sense. Makes perfect sense. Okay. Push notifications for last minute meeting schedule changes on mobile. That's really nice if you're using scheduled meetings. Sure. Okay. Move breakout room settings into the right panel.
Can I interrupt?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Is this using Zoom Scheduler, or like what do they mean by scheduled meetings? Only using the Zoom Schedule product, or would this work for Outlook or Google Calendar? Like I don't know.
It looks like it's using the existing email notifications.
Okay.
For meetings. So new meeting update, yeah.
Changes to a whole reoccurring meeting
It's
series
also
will
push
not send a
notifications.
push notification.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is, hey, I'm running late. I guess we're starting 15 minutes late. So because I always use Zoom in full screen, I never realized this, but apparently breakout rooms for everyone, regardless, the breakout rooms panel always opened in a floatable window, in a separate window. They're now attaching it to, if you're not full screen or if you haven't popped it out, they're now attaching it to the right panel. And you can now split it like you can with other things. So let me pull this down here so we can see, and let me change the view so we don't get the infinity thing. So now if I open, let me open chat over here. Oh wait, I have to pop it back in, sorry. So I've got chat and I'll pop in this. So you can now have these things over here and you have both of them and you can make, one smaller, or actually I can't now because my screen isn't big enough, but there you go. You can make one smaller, one bigger. Now you'll be able to do this. You'll be able to add breakout rooms to that. So now if I open breakout rooms, yeah, it doesn't live over here. And there's no way so this button right here, when I pop it out, I get a pop in button. I don't have that on breakout rooms. So now that's going to be added to this side thing. And you'll still be able to pop it out, that will be how I prefer to do it. I always prefer to keep those separate, but now you'll have that as an option, which is nice, I think.
Zoom was supposed to release a product, and I've been waiting a long time for it to show up in Zoom meetings where you could have a breakout room, but they didn't call it a breakout room, but essentially it's a breakout room where, like, let's say I wanted to invite Robert to have a sidebar conversation.
Isn't
where
that a huddle?
No,
Isn't that what huddles were?
No, but it's in a Zoom meeting where you can go off with another person and meet and then return back to the meeting without the host invoking like a breakout room.
I think I remember that also. The reason I said huddles is not because that was the product, but it just reminds me of that's the idea, I think, behind huddles. Boy, I would love that. I haven't heard anything from that though.
Wouldn't you bring them to the waiting room? Because I thought that was you could bring them to the
No,
waiting
no,
room and then.
no,
because you can't
because
talk
it
to
would
them.
be private. Like it'd be like, hey, Robert, I'm sending you an invitation in the chat to a private invitation. Robert, I'd like to go talk to you about this thing you just said, and he could say yes or no, and me and him would end up in our own little breakout room that the rest of the group couldn't join and wouldn't be part of, and the host didn't have to deal with.
Feels like I'm in trouble. Can you
Why?
join me Can you join me in my office?
No, but imagine, like Robert was saying, I just got this new device that allows me to do simultaneous interpretation, and the rest of the meeting went, oh, who cares? And I went, no, that's super interesting. I want to buy 7 of those from you, Robert, and I could invite him to and instead of just doing it by chat, we could talk and see each other. And I don't know.
For production, that could be incredibly powerful for a producer to be able to pull a panelist aside for a moment and have a private conversation with them. That would be super.
In the physical
helpful.
world, you would just walk into the hallway with someone and let the main meeting keep going, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we hold these meetings sometimes with lawyers for mitigating certain situations, and this comes up a lot. This request comes up a lot, and we do it with classical breakout rooms at the moment. But if, for example, the head lawyer was just to say, "Okay, I need to go and speak with someone for a minute and leave the room," that becomes so much easier than having to ask for a breakout room, move this person, don't move that person.
Yep. You can now see instant meetings on the calendar tab. I'm not entirely sure why that's helpful, given that it's instant, so it's happening right now.
Is instant like what we're having now, David?
Instant is you press start meeting.
It's not what we're having now.
No, that is what we have now. That's every meeting I do is an instant meeting. Yeah.
Because it's not the same as a personal meeting.
That's not true, actually. Wait, sorry. I do schedule meetings, but so we're talking about two different, I think you're talking about two different things. There's PMI, which is using your personal meeting identifier.
That's this meeting.
That's this meeting, but this is also an instant meeting in that it's not scheduled. I open Zoom and I pressed start meeting.
No,
And-
it is a scheduled meeting because we have an invite, David.
No, you don't.
Yes, we do. I have a calendar invite and I just click on the link and I come straight in.
Yeah. Yeah, me too.
Yeah, but that's not a fixed meeting. You could join his PMI anytime you like and drop in on whoever he's speaking to.
So
Yeah.
this
But don't
is a
tell him that
PMI.
because he'll be worried.
Yeah. It's a
Yeah,
schedule.
you
It's
can.
not. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Maybe it's not scheduled on my calendar, so I don't know why you have it on your. Whatever. It doesn't. But
I've made it so that it's more convenient for me, so I can see it in my calendar.
So here's maybe I can explain it this way. It may very well be a scheduled meeting. We may have set up at some point. I may have set up a recurring meeting from now until eternity. Although I know you can't do that every Friday at this time, because I set that scheduled meeting, recurring meeting up using my PMI. It's much less of a scheduled meeting because all you're doing is clicking into my instant. When I start the meeting, I just open my personal room and we're there. So,
Can I just ask, reading this, I'm a little confused, but I'm getting the impression that the instant meeting is appended to your calendar, sort of like a diary, like this happened, so that if you want to
so
go
you
back,
can have a record of it.
yeah, like, oh, I had an instant meeting on that day that I didn't schedule, so that, but at least it
Which
got
would be
captured.
helpful to know.
Yeah, if you
I can see as being very helpful. Absolutely. Enhancements to unmanaged device restrictions for meeting content. So you can restrict access to recordings and transcripts from devices not enrolled in Zoom device management, extending the meeting restrictions that applies to meeting summaries.
That's interesting.
That's interesting that you could restrict summaries, but you couldn't restrict transcript.
It just sounds like they're giving more granular controls.
Yes, it seems a lot of these they are. Even the breakout rooms, just letting people choose. Do I want it on the side or do I want it popped out?
Well, but this one's for the account owners and admins.
Yes,
because
this is nice. When a host has an active enhanced media license, an enhanced media enabled status row appears in the meeting info panel. Now, I'm not in this meeting as so I can't really show that because I don't have enhanced on this account. I've heard, by the way, some complaints about enhanced media that because it's asking so much more of the device that it actually sometimes causes the computer maybe gets too hot and you get some jumps or some giggles or some whatever. I've heard a couple of people struggling with that.
Is that a complaint or is that someone using the wrong device for that tool, that function?
Probably a little bit of both, I'm sure.
Because Andy did actually warn us about this.
Right. I mean, but then again, if I've got an M4 MacBook Pro here with, I don't know, if you tell me this computer isn't good enough, and no one told me this computer isn't good enough for it, so
have you been having issues on
no,
the M4?
Not really. I always have issues. I don't know where I don't always know where they come from, but
they come from your floor. That's what you told us last time, David.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Yeah. And also you got to take into consideration now, David, we're asking 60 frames a second, not 30 anymore. So whatever.
Is that where the bottlenecks really happen? Do you think?
Yes. Yes. Yeah. You are forcing 60 seconds. Sorry, you're forcing 60 frames per second out of your machine at all times now, where Zoom before would, if you're not talking, it's only sending out 360. Because you are demanding it by having the enhanced media turned on. You're demanding 1080p 60.
Yeah.
From everybody, if they have it.
If you're planning on editing it, you wouldn't want it to be changing either. You'd want it to stay consistent. So
You want it to be consistent. I've had in the past 2 weeks, 2 times when I've just been in a regular meeting for nothing, like, with doesn't even matter. And at the end of both meetings, they've said to me, can I just, why do you look so good? And that, like, why are you so clear? And it was fantastic. It was just, that to me is worth buying enhanced media, just so that people can see that we don't all have to look like crap.
David, that's not a function of Zoom. That
That's just
feeling
me?
is not a function of
Oh,
Zoom.
okay. Oh, I thought you were maybe saying that the "you look so good" part was just me. It's not. All
why,
right.
yes, I do work out.
I actually decided the other night that I'm so fat that I went to my AI and I asked for some help, and it suggested a diet for me. It's called the Stop Eating You Fat Bastard diet, which I'm going to get on right away. Enhancements to the AI avatar creation wizard. Well, thank goodness for this. You can now touch up my appearance and adjust for low light in the AI. You can touch up the appearance of your AI avatar. Okay.
You're not reading that sentence the way it's written.
I know I'm not. It's because I think it's silly. Users will have their touch up my appearance and adjust for low light values from video settings automatically inherited when they enter the appearance step of the AI avatar creation wizard, meaning that when you're creating when it's taking the scan of your face, the picture of your face, those settings will automatically come over, which will presumably make you look better so that your AI avatar can look better also. At the very least, they can look consistent. So that's very nice. Says the company that just partnered with another company to stop people from using AI avatars. The post meeting, they didn't, that's not what they did. I didn't mean to suggest that. Enhancements to post meeting experience. So the home, calendar, and hub tabs of your Zoom workplace app. Let me open that up again. Where are you? Workplace. There we go. All right. So on our workplace tab, you're going to have a consistent user interface across home, calendar, and hub tabs. So home, hub. Sorry, I was in something there. This is hub. And where's calendar? Let me find calendar and calendar. Okay. So they say you're going to have, 1 second, James, they're going to have a consistent way to find meeting assets on each of those. Right. Because if you have a meeting, it's going to show up here. See this? Oh, no, I'm in the wrong account. Sorry. This, no, I'm not. I'm in the right account and there's no meeting scheduled for today. That's why I'm not sure why you have an invite, by the way. Unless
I've made my own, Robert. I don't know, Robert, you probably made your own too, right? Manually?
I don't know. In any
Oh,
case,
I need to check.
if I had a meeting here, then there may be assets associated with it. Those assets are also going to be available from my hub where all of my assets are available and presumably from home somewhere over here. So that's nice. James, go ahead.
Just to clarify something you just said, and kind of my first misunderstanding of the guaranteed human is the guaranteed human is really this separate app that you have to verify kind of your phone and orb and all this other kind of stuff. It's not the AI detecting another AI just by picture.
No,
And
so the way I understand it is you create an identity, you create an account for
Yes.
in one of these tools, and then within Zoom has partnered so that within Zoom, you can as an admin, you can turn on or use this functionality to then
It's kind of
assess
a badge.
that person is that person, right? And I'm joking about it, but they certainly are not trying to get us to stop using avatars. They're giving tools for security purposes to make sure that if you need people to show up for legal reasons, for educational reasons, for medical reasons, for whatever reasons, in person, that we have the tools to do that, to ensure that.
Although since it's just a badge, you've verified that you are a real person.
No, I don't think it's just a badge. It's you know what? I will let me look for the let me look for the notes on it for you.
To me, it was like you're scanning yourself. You're making credit. Like, yes, you had to do something to prove that you were human, but that doesn't actually prove that when you go into a meeting, you aren't using some high-tech AI version of you, so that you could be in two places at once.
Right. So here we go. So you enroll once. You verify that you are a unique human with World ID via an orb, an advanced camera, and receive verified World ID. God, that seems so silly to me. Verify unjoined. Sorry. A quick check in World app confirms a match between Zoom real-time media stream frame. So it's looking at the frame of you, your camera, the orb image of their verified World ID holder, and an on-device face authentication selfie. Show verification. A verified human badge appears on your video tile and profile, signaling to others that they are a confirmed human participant. I'm sorry. God, reading this is so hard. Okay.
Okay, so it's more than a badge because
it's when you come in, your face, your screen is matched against your identity in the World app. So it seems more to me than yeah. I don't think it's just a badge because you signed up. They're actually doing some verification. That's how I understand it.
And people taking tests with a thing like Honor Lock and verifying it's them and they're not looking at their notes and stuff. And sometimes people do this with Zoom in a full Zoom meeting and have proctors who are watching that particular person. So now this would add to that sense. So
right. Frank, is that something? I know you to say something, but quickly, is that something you all do? Do you proctor tests on Zoom?
Yeah, we do, but we also have proctoring centers and we have proctoring partners around the world. You have an accredited facility, you pay a fee. They meet the credential, they meet the burden of proof that they're an accredited proctoring center, and then you show up if let's say it's summertime, you're not in your same country as your school. You can just go there and write your exam there, if depending on all the other things that have to do with that. But some people use Zoom to proctor, but there's other tools. Zoom's competing. There's also things you can do, just like some instructors will just say, like, you have to use Zoom, but you also have to have multiple cameras. I want to be able to see your hands and your keyboard, not just your face, and you have to pick your camera up and scan the room and show me the whole room you're in before you can start the exam. There's a lot of things but it's still very clumsy.
Wow. It's very clumsy. Yeah. Expecting people to have multiple cameras and wow. Fascinating. You wanted to jump in, Frank?
Yeah. In an abundance of paranoia, I just want to relay a story. Do you know that Pokemon Go? Remember that phenomena where people were chasing whatever Pokemon all over at parks and fountains and points of interest around your city? Do you know what the actual purpose of that game was actually revealed to be?
I just heard about this on Intelligent Machines.
Oh, just recently? Yeah, it's been known for a while. So it turned out that Pokemon Go was actually a company that wanted to do very high in-depth mapping, and they were putting the Pokemons that you were going to capture into places where they didn't have enough mapping data. So every single human being who thought they were playing a harmless little game was actually, unbeknownst to themselves, helping a company get heavy-duty, accurate mapping I'm just wondering, like this world thing, I don't know anything about them. I'm not casting any aspersions, but if you said tomorrow, I want to have a national ID program, a lot of people would be outraged. Now it feels like you're almost being tricked into saying, we're going to have a whole world repository of your identity. Like, I would need to know way more about this before I would submit to it, even though I think it's a good idea for people to be able to trust that they're talking to an actual person who says, and not a virtual entity, right?
For sure. Yeah, John, go ahead.
Maybe you'd like to ask an AI about this company. It was conceived in 2019. WorldCoin, as it was called, was conceived in 2019 with the aim of helping people access the global economy and benefit from the age of AI. It was co-founded by Sam Altman.
Oh, there you go.
Maybe I don't need to say anymore.
Well, that's interesting. So here's another one of these Pokemon Go stories. This is from the Defense Post. Pokemon Go data quietly trained AI for drone battlefield mapping. Millions of Pokemon Go players spent years scanning real-world locations for in-game rewards, unaware their data would later help train artificial intelligence tied to military drone navigation systems.
There's also conjecture that AI has independently decided whether or not to kill a human on, I think it was in the Ukraine battle. But like, there's so many ethical concerns about AI, right?
And if you have to be real in your next Zoom meeting, don't worry, because where you are doesn't. Because another new and enhanced feature is now it's easier to generate a virtual background with AI, both in and out of meetings, with a more prominent way to generate. So with their ready-made spaces, so you can say you're in the office, you could be a real person and lie about where you are. In the office.
You're far too ethical to do that, David. You would never lie about where
I
you
would. I usually run Zoom Test Kitchen from the bathroom, so I mean,
You cook in the bathroom? That's disgusting.
when viewing captions, meeting participants can see the speaker's meeting display name alongside spoken text. This is fascinating. We had talked about this when we were comparing captions to transcript. And one of the main differences is that in captions, you saw the icon of the person, but not their name. And in transcript, you saw their name. They're now bringing that to captions.
This will be great, but I also see the problem of people trying to use one laptop at a table with 6 people, and there's only one microphone. It's not going to work for those kind of hybrid situations.
Right. Or any of those, the meeting owl,
Yeah,
the 360 cameras. Yeah.
I have a question.
Oh, well, whose
I can't raise my
voice
hand.
is that?
Well, that's
Lois.
Jim Drummond's spouse.
Hello.
And I'm on his computer. I can't raise my hand. But the question is, that whole thing about getting confirmed and verified and a badge and all that other stuff. When someone hosts a meeting, do they get to say no one can enter unless they've done this, jump through these hoops and become a World ID person?
That's a great question. I don't know. It doesn't say in the article. We'll have to see. It's a good question. I do not know.
It is a good question, though.
Oh, sure. Yeah. Okay, you can have a custom disclaimer on your transcripts. This is also a big security piece. You can block copy and download of files in meeting chat. I think this was out for some, maybe. And again, you cannot prevent participants from using external screen capture tools, taking photos of screens and things like that.
That will also be circumvented by savvy people, or you'll just use your phone.
Very quickly.
Text, picture to text OCR recognition.
I think
Oh,
David's
look
going
at
to help
this.
for this next one. Go for it.
This is a great one. When a user joins the same meeting on both the Zoom desktop app and a Zoom room, and my first question is, could that also mean just another device like an iPhone? The system automatically detects both devices and mutes audio on the secondary device by default to help prevent echo and audio feedback. No user setup is required. I love this, but I don't want it just between a desktop app and a Zoom room. I want it between any two devices. And then you can always turn it on, but I love this idea.
So in a Zoom room, like an actual Zoom room, there's a high pitch frequency that humans can't hear that's being emitted that helps things pair. The device is hearing the sound from the room speakers. I wonder if this is going to also have some kind of high frequency encrypted digital ID, so each device is identified as a separate and different distinct device. I wonder how this works.
That's so sci-fi high tech. I didn't even know that was a thing. That's very cool.
David, it's got to do with the fact of knowing where you're logged in at all times, right? If you're logged into multiple locations, then Zoom will know that, okay, you're in this one initially, now you want to go in this one. I've actually seen this even on Linux as well, where I've actually been able to, I was on a Windows machine and then I went to my Linux machine and I logged in from the Linux machine and it said, you're already logged into the Windows machine. Would you like me to log you out of that one and log you into this one?
Right.
So there's already, because I had the account open in multiple operating system and such, there's already, Zoom's already taken into consideration. You were here. Do you still want to be on this machine and this machine, or do you want me to take you away from that machine?
Oh,
But I
sure,
like-
because meetings have a participant ID, a session ID, and I'm
Right.
sure they probably know the MAC address of your computer and your IP address. So, I mean, it's going to figure out if you're on another device, right?
I think you're looking at this the wrong way.
Okay.
This is a corporate tool. So if you've got Zoom rooms and everybody comes into the meeting with all their laptops already in Zoom, this means they can be in Zoom on their laptops and the system's automatically going to turn their laptop off because they're now being picked up by all the microphones in their Zoom room. I think that's what it's aimed at more.
And the use case for being on their laptops would be so they could perhaps write in the Notes app or Canvas or something like that.
And they can just
Yeah.
see the screen easier than necessarily turning to the room.
So you can do collaboration and shares and things together, but you're actually physically in the same room, so you don't need a microphone on
okay.
twice because other people not in the room will then hear the echo.
That makes a lot of sense.
And it's only cause possible because they've already got us to speak into the machine, so the machine can recognize your voice in a Zoom room situation, which is spooky bit clever.
Yeah, and when you have people bringing their laptops into a Zoom room, feedback is always a concern, right? Audio feedback.
Yeah. Okay.
What would happen if you were not in a Zoom room? Is anything, excuse me.
All right, we'll come right back to her.
If you were not in
oh.
a Zoom room, but just in a meeting, would that make any difference with different people having all those different laptops turned on?
If you were all in physical proximity to each other and you all were blaring sound out of your speakers and you had your microphones on, yeah, you have a high chance of having audio feedback in that situation.
Which is why I said I would love to see this for if I join. They have this cool handoff feature where you can move from your laptop to your phone or vice versa. I have people who are, they try and get it on, or they get it on one, but then they want to show me something with their iPhone. And so rather than try and figure out how to switch the camera and connect the phone, they just join the meeting from the iPhone. I'd love for Zoom to say, oh, you're already in this meeting, so you can join again, but I'm going to mute you automatically. But that's not what this is about. I think John's absolutely right.
Yeah. And again, what I was explaining before is what it is currently when I was on two different
Right.
operating systems.
Right. But okay, more AI avatars, realistic and stylized for not more avatars, but you get avatars now on more devices.
Well, those are graphics cards, just so for the non
For Windows,
for us
yeah.
Windows guys, yeah.
On more
Yeah.
Windows devices with these cards.
Yeah.
And then you can slow down or speed up your local video files. You can control playback speed, which I like. We got some mail stuff, some phone stuff. I don't mean to go through these quickly unless there's anything that jumps out. It's just very, I don't know a lot of people who use these.
Yeah. And when you're ready, David, questions from YouTube.
Yeah. There's a lot more than what's on here, by the way. We're not going to get to it all, but there's My Notes, a dedicated My Notes homepage, a centralized template management. And then there's the features that we get each time. I'm sorry, did I not read that correctly, Mike?
You're skipping the Apple CarPlay calling experience for all those fancy
Wait,
people.
where's the Apple CarPlay call?
Under phone features.
Well, let's go back to that. Here we
Right
go.
there.
Users can make Zoom phone calls directly from Apple CarPlay using voice commands, speed dial, or recent call history. Incoming calls are displayed within the in-vehicle interface. Missed calls appear in the recent list. So basically, Zoom Phone has now been fully integrated into
Infotainment system.
the phone experience. Yeah, on that. And Android Auto is coming soon.
Yeah. Yeah. So that will be anybody that has a half decent infotainment system in their vehicle, the possibility now just
Who is it, Muddy, who calls in from his phone, from his car all the time?
From
Yeah.
his Tesla.
Yeah.
Yep. And then there were some minor bug fixes, some security enhancements.
Well, for Tesla owners, Tesla actually Zoom is actually an app in your Tesla. You could actually get Zoom in there. So you don't have to use like AirPlay or anything like that.
Hey, David, resolved an issue where chat messages containing both Hebrew and English text displayed.
I saw
in the
this and I
wrong
thought
order.
they did this just for me. This is
They
so
did.
nice. Little present here. That's for those of you who don't know, that's because English is read from right to left, and no, it's not. English is read from right to left, from left to right, and Hebrew is read from right to left. Sorry.
And so is Arabic. Arabic is like
and so is Arabic. I wonder, how do they handle Chinese scripts that are, forgive my ignorance here, but those are written top down, aren't they? I don't know. I'm sorry.
Know either. Yeah.
If I just said something.
This one's kind of funny. Resolved an issue where screen sharing annotations appeared on the wrong monitor when using multiple displays. Hey, it's all over. What's it going on here? Resolved an issue where the OK button remained grayed out when creating new chats, preventing users from starting conversations in Zoom chat.
That may not be a bug. That may actually be a feature to be able to stop people from starting conversations.
Yeah, I was going to say, depending on the zoom in.
Yeah.
Even though I know that's not a feature, but yeah, depending on the zoom in.
All right, that's the release 7.1 coming out on the 22nd on Monday. What are people on
YouTube is asking, so we have Mailman
2 to 1, 2 to 0, sorry, 2 to 0 still. USA,
still
Australia.
0, correct.
USA is favored to win 98.7 to 0.1.
What's that place where you can put bets? Polymarket or something?
Polymarket. There you go.
Polymarket.
Yep.
Yep.
Go make them bet.
Put in your $1 million now.
There we go.
Yeah. So Mailman 166, which is Rion, is asking everyone, so what is the biggest new feature for 7.1?
I really think that depends on who you are and how you use Zoom. Like what's important to me may not be important to you, right?
Yeah. I'm looking through it.
Entirely fair. Now, if you meant in the production world, that would be a different question too, of course.
This doesn't feel to me like an update with huge things. This feels to me like an update with a lot of little but meaningful updates. I don't see, nothing is jumping out to me here as wow, this is,
I think retirement of the AI companion name, that's got to be the number one showstopper right there.
But that's That's a very forward-facing one for sure. There's a lot of security stuff in here, restricting whether or not it'll work, restricting screen capture. I actually think having the names. Oh, Robert, you're here. Having one of the things that we saw. Remember, we spent quite a bit of time thinking about the difference between captions and transcript, and how one of the big differences was the transcript gets the speaker's name, whereby captions only gets the icon. Well, now captions are going to get the name also of whoever's speaking. And that to me feels like a pretty big one, especially for accessibility. Because very, very few people actually update their avatar, their icon avatar to anything other than, you know, a color with their initials or whatever Zoom defaults to.
Yeah, that's actually an issue because it's whatever Zoom defaults to, because we all have our names visible here on the screen, but that's something completely different from what appears in the little 2-letter initials in the captions. So I think this is a good idea. I'm just, from a practical point of view, I've been thinking, trying to imagine what it's going to look like, because that'll occupy quite a lot of space on the screen where that was allocated to captions before. So
I actually think now that I'm looking at it again, I would say that one of the big things from this release is also the mobile desktop parity piece. I don't know how many people are using slide sheets and paper, but the fact that you'll be able to access them now on tablets and mobile, it's a big deal. And it's vital. It's absolutely vital.
If they want corporations to adopt it, yeah, then you have to have that, right? But
yeah,
I personally don't care about it. But I think you were right when you said, like, there's a whole bunch of little things in here, and you know what your favorite is probably going to be mine. But there's a lot of housekeeping going on here.
A question. A question is, what in here, if any of them, have broken something that is already in use and is now disappearing?
We won't know that till Monday.
Yeah, we haven't seen it yet, so we don't know what's going to break. But I'm sure that things will.
I can just comment on the right-hand side, the menu bar where we get the chat and the breakout rooms is going to come up there. It took me a while to get used to, because it sometimes knocks out something that you already have in there to put something else in. But the fact that we can remove them and still move them out and take them out and keep them on a separate screen, that's fine. But I like the idea. I've got used to the idea of having them. I know where they're going to pop up, not in the middle of the screen where I'm looking at someone, but in a specific place on the screen, which is a change.
Go Frank. Yeah, go ahead, Frank, first.
I was just going to say, there's going to be criticism as usual. Zoom moves its development along at a very rapid pace, and there's a lot of people I see complaining in the community forum especially, but even in my own organization, that stop changing the bloody UI, stop, like, they don't use Zoom every day, they don't use as much as we do, and the other thing I hear from a noticeable amount of people is enough with the AI already. Just give me a web conferencing app, and they're not going to be happy, because I think Zoom's really become an AI forward company.
Yeah, go for it, John. You're next.
I have 3 things to share. Firstly, for those that don't follow me closely, the Zoom community now has 500,500 members. Not only did it break the 500,000 mark, it then whooshed across to another 500 members. So there's well over 500,000 people in the Zoom community now, which is amazing, absolutely stupendous. Number 2, there is a Zoom developer conference next week. Unfortunately, my contribution is not going to be part of it, because they are focusing on certain issues, and my offering doesn't fulfill that. So I've pulled out. There is a company that will be showing an app that does ID identification at the developers conference. That's on Wednesday. And on Thursday, there is a future of work big announcement from Zoom at a webinar where they're going to be talking about Zoom Spaces, where they get the physical world of where all your Zoom stuff is to try and connect up to your virtual. That's it. 3 things for next week to look out for.
There actually is quite a bit more. I only want to. There's just one of these things I want to post that or share that Zoom webinar also has what looks like a pretty significant release on Monday, and one of the really nice things that they have is that event creators and hosts can create and manage lower thirds graphic overlays directly within Zoom Events or the web portal. But incidentally, if you're looking for this, I don't know why, but this is not in the Zoom Events release notes. It's in just the Zoom Webinar release notes. Lower thirds span the lower portion of the screen and support primary and secondary line text, each with independently customizable background colors, yada, yada, yada. Within Production Studio, lower thirds could be shown or hidden on the fly with live controls kept persistently accessible and secondary actions available through scene and preview menus. So this is nice. I think if you're using Webinars Plus or Zoom Events, I think this is a really nice feature.
I guess we'll have to take a look. We'll have to take a look at that, eh, John?
Yeah, and that's thank you to Ray for sharing that in the chat. Robert,
it's actually a very nice feature because
Yes.
the webinar type lower thirds are quite cumbersome when you have them on each and every screen every time that person comes up. So,
oh, is that how it works now? Really?
yeah.
Wow.
So if we can switch them on and off on the fly in Production Studio, that's going to be really, really nice.
That's great.
I was just going to say that you know, I don't feel that Zoom is changing and making so many changes all the time to the apps because I don't update every time they release a new version of the app.
Yes, and I'm going to be curious on, is this going to be enough for Robert to move from 6 to 7.0 at least?
I'm still on 6.7, so I've got a big jump to make. I have a week free next week. I don't have any events, so I'm going to do it on Monday, and that will help me just get used to it, make sure that everything is quiet and calm.
So you're so my understanding, you're going from 6.7, I believe you're telling me on Wednesday, to 7.1. So you're going even past 7.0 is what you're telling me.
Isn't it 7.1 that they're going to provide?
On Monday, yes. No, I'm just saying it's you don't usually go from 2 back to the newest right away. Not usually stay 1 back. That's what
I
I'm saying.
usually do, but there's this week that I don't have anything to do, so I'll just go for it. And
so you want to be dangerous, is what I'm hearing. Is that this is abnormally dangerous for Robert?
Slightly, but I don't. Like I said, there's no production going on, so it's okay.
All right, that's fine. No, we all are curious, Robert, because you're the one that's the safest out of all of us. So that's why I was curious about that, because as soon as that came up today, I was like, yeah, I wonder if Robert is actually going to do that. See, what you could do, Robert, is go from 6.7 and go to 7.0 today before Monday. And then you are at least in the 7 world instead of being in the 6 world now.
No, this weekend I need to update from Sequoia to because I'm still on old versions of Sequoia.
Oh my!
On my Mac.
All right.
So am I. Hang in there with me, brother.
All right, over to you, Frank. Go for it.
Oh, switching gears, if that's okay.
Yeah. Of course.
In the office hours Zoom Discord, sorry, the person's name's truncated. Daniel, PAT something. Apparently, the Zoom plugin for the Stream Deck.
The OSC or ISO?
No,
the regular one. I'm using it now. Yeah.
Apparently, there's some kind of bug in there, and it's inflating the log folders. His log has 7 gigs of log files in it. So if you're wondering where your space is, hopefully Elgato or whoever made that plugin releases a patch for it.
Wait, where do I find that?
Go to Office Hours.
No. Where do I find my logs to see if?
Oh, I don't know. Google it.
Well, you're no help. Like,
Well, I'm just reading
You're
you
the
a
s-
Discord. It doesn't have
you're the
technical
smart one in this group.
specifications. Just thought some of you are using it. You might like to know that.
wow.
Okay, so before David leaves, now we have to fix David's log. So
Well, maybe it's
You know
not
what
impacting all users.
This show has become Fix David. Like every week I come with new issues, like some psychological and some Zoom related.
That's the benefit of being the host.
Uh,
Get the VIP
Zoom-
experience.
so this would be a Stream Deck log.
correct.
Right.
Elgato. So chances are anything. So take a look for an Elgato folder would be my thought first off.
David, according to a Reddit post, it's in libraries logs Elgato's Stream Deck.
Libraries logs. All right.
Library.
Two people
sorry.
are saying they have the same issue with that.
Really? Okay, I just searched for library and it opened up my local library. I don't want that. I want in Finder. Come on, guys.
Just look for Stream Deck. There should be a folder Stream Deck.
Stream Deck. Okay. Yeah, I got a bunch here, but it's not even taking me to the library. How do you actually get to how do you actually get to your library? That's what I don't know.
Definitely a config bug in the Zoom plugin.
What's that little squiggle thing called?
Tilde?
Tilde.
Tilde?
Tilde.
Okay, how do I find the library on a Mac? This isn't ridiculous.
It may be hidden. In newer versions of the Mac OS, the library's hidden. You have to do a
Hit
secret.
the Alt key.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know that. All right, that I got. Computer, Macintosh. I got library. Okay, and now I'm looking for Elgato.
Library logs Stream Deck.
But maybe it's in the plugin, the Zoom plugin.
Library logs. I don't even have a Stream Deck library log.
Okay, so try library application support.
Application
Elgato.
support. Yeah.
Yeah, and then Elgato should come somewhere.
Elgato. There's not one for Elgato either. All right. Well, we will have to keep looking for this. Logic.
I just found a Reddit post from 4 months ago. Elgato Stream Deck logs consuming all available hard drive.
Wow.
Here, I'll post the link. You can pursue this at your own
That's
leisure.
that's just going to stress me out.
Oh, look at the picture. That's crazy. Here, check this picture. .com Elgato .camera hub .log 55 points. I don't know if this is the exact same one they were talking about. But
What?
anyways.
That is crazy.
And for everybody's notion that uses a teleprompter, that uses the Camera Hub app. So if you're using a teleprompter right now, which a good number of my panelists are, you should be checking that log too.
I'm sure they'll patch it now that people are knowing about it.
David, if you go into to Finder, into the search, and put in something like logs/Elgato Stream Deck, should be able to find it.
Just look for a log file that's in the gigabyte territory. little text-based file shouldn't be taking gigs.
Yeah.
Well, it looks like library application support, and then com.elgato Stream Deck.
Or just go on to the Office Hours Discord and ask them, where do I find this?
Yeah. I mean, I've got a ton of logs here, but you can't even see that.
David, I think I've done a little bit of digging here. It should start with a com.elgato.
Wait. Yeah, no, that I found.
Okay,
but-
good.
But
Then you should be
but
going
if
into.
I search for com.elgato in library, nothing shows up.
No, keep going because it might be called com.elgato.streamdeck.
Yeah, no, it should find everything that's com.elgato and it's not finding anything. So
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm just looking in the Stream Deck SDK now to see what the normal format of when people write plugins, what it should be using.
This is one of the things, by the way, that I hope this new indexing that's coming from Apple is going to fix. The search on this computer is just terrible. Absolutely terrible right now.
Yeah, let's not bring out how terrible Microsoft is there too. It's been
Really?
terrible for, oh yeah. I decades ago I've stopped using it because it just, for the amount of time that it takes, it's just simpler just to
There's lots of
disable.
third-party search tools for Mac.
Yeah.
For
No,
indexing your hard drive.
I'm actually using Alfred.
Okay, that's a good one.
And the
Yeah,
good
it's-
news is once you fill up your hard drive, your Mac will say, please throw stuff away, and it will give you the program to
Yeah.
find the largest users really quickly.
Huh.
What's the score?
I turned it off.
Okay.
I'm sorry. I'm such a terrible American. All right.
They
I'm going to
won.
now spend the rest of the weekend looking for these Elgato files. So I just want to thank you, all of you.
I sensed that you didn't have enough to do.
No, actually, what I'm going to do this weekend is watch this, the AI doc. I'm actually really excited about that. Thank you.
I think you're really going to find it provocative. It's
Yeah.
not completely satisfying, and there's parts of it I feel like were glossed over, or like it's such a large topic. How much can one person do in one documentary? But I think you're really going to enjoy it. It's very provoking and timely.
Ooh, content recommendations. What
Yep.
are we looking for? This sounds
So
interesting.
it's called the AI doc, or how I became an apocalyptimist.
Optimist. It's hard to say.
Apocalyptimist.
Yes, that's hard to say.
Yeah, I just rented it on Amazon.
It's really
Prime.
well made. Like, regardless of whether or not you agree with some of the conclusions or thoughts expressed, the craftsmanship of the documentary is really well made. Don't get a takedown.
Is it true if you turn the audio off that you don't get a takedown?
I don't know.
Well, yes and no.
Well, I
Yes,
won't
is
do it then.
audio is the easiest one for them to find. Then they'll go, oh, you're showing me video too. They'll
Yeah.
start scrubbing that too. So
All right.
if you entice them with the audio that you've done it already, then chances are they'll start doing video on you too.
Gotcha. All right. I'm leaving you all in the capable hands of Mike Latta. Have a lovely weekend, guys.
See ya.
Take care, David. And yes, I just did it. There it is. David just missed it. But anyways, so if you have any questions on YouTube, let us know in chat and we will continue down that road to get you your answers. And could be about 7.1. I know Rion was asking that he wanted to actually each one of us to actually come up with an actual new feature that we thought was interesting. And I think it's a fair consensus for most of us anyways, is that it's small incremental things. I know that the one that David brought up was quite interesting regarding when it comes to the lower thirds and such. Now that John and I use Production Studio religiously for all of our shows, I will be looking at seeing where we can incorporate that and where that is in the interface. And of course, Johnny, I don't know, is that something that would actually be in the template or not in the template? That I guess is a question to be determined, right? And John's looking something up and did nod at me when I said that. So, James, how's things been?
Well, I have a day off, so I can actually be here, but otherwise,
Excellent.
I can't make your Fridays at all. So, And I would have to say Robert's AI avatar is great. It looks real. Look, it even laughs. That's cool. But I would need some verification because I think it's AI. I bet it can even speak French.
Oh, we know for sure it might be Polish, but French, yeah, French, yes. Actually, no, I do know Robert has relatives in Quebec, so that is true. So chances are French. Yes, I would say probably.
How many languages can you speak?
This is my AI verification. I am human. Look, I've
Oh,
got a
that is the
smiley.
orb.
No, I'm not very good with languages. I can understand a lot of languages, but I can't speak them. So I can only speak 2 languages fluently.
That's what I would expect the AI to say.
Oh,
The AI would respond, "That's very observant of you. You're quite correct."
that's true. And how many people have actually told AI not to do that ever again? You can't.
I just love it when I got an answer and I called it on it and it said, "Oh," because it said, "Look in the image," and I said, "You didn't send an image," and it said, "Oh yeah, I totally what do they call that? Hypnotized? No.
Hallucinated.
Yeah, I totally hallucinated the image. I can look at images, but I don't know. It was funny.
Yeah, they're yeah. I've run into that lately too. Gemini has been doing that to me a couple of times, but what I have been noticing is, to be fair, it's been semi based on time zone and also based on time of the day. It seems to be that I get more hallucinations the more busier Gemini is. Because all of a sudden I was doing something yesterday on Gemini and I was doing well. Then all of a sudden it decided that, oh, it gave me that infamous, and I don't know if anybody run into this on Gemini going, something went wrong. Try again, try a new chat. And I'm like, no. Yeah. And so I asked Gemini, was there anything wrong? And Gemini came actually, sometimes Gemini will come back going, yeah, there was, and it'll actually spill out what was actually happening at that particular point, why it decided not to answer me at that particular point. Well, I had a bit of a malfunction of blah, 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 blah. I'm like, okay, thanks. I guess I care about that.
But let me
Go
ask
ahead.
you this. If you used a free meeting, which are like limited to 40 minutes, right?
Yeah.
Wouldn't that one be free of all the AI stuff?
Hmm.
Like someone saying like, "Oh, it keeps on changing. I want just a simple y- you know, streaming
Just a
app."
simple, so a simple, you're talking about like simple meeting,
Yeah,
meaning
yeah.
AI companion is disabled because you're not paying for it. Is that what you're meaning?
Right, right. So you're not paying for any of this stuff, so then it would just give you the simple thing that didn't have all these other, oh, you need to look here, you need to look here. It's just like I'm just providing these other people's images and they're talking and you can do a screen share. But like it would be nice to have a minimal mode for meetings that, you know, some of your users could say, I just want minimal mode because I can't keep up with all the changes. Um,
I know the developer answer to that, Christian. And I know the best developer in the house, and he's still with us. So I'm going to defer to him. But basically, at a higher level, James, um, by default, the workplace app is as complicated as Zoom wants it to be currently. Um, as far as basic, I haven't tried a meeting in a while as basic, to be quite honest, as a basic user, which would be the quote unquote free user. And I don't know. we would have to go to the specifics of what does a free user actually get. So that would be the next question. And I have a feeling something's telling me that there is still, even at the free level, some very, very basic AI stuff in there too. Not necessarily would you get like a summary of your meeting or such like that, or could you actually ask AI companion to do something for you? But there still might be some sort of component, because again, the meeting you're going into also could have AI, Zoom AI stuff in there too, enabled by the host, right? Go ahead, Frank.
So take this as for what it's worth, because it's an AI answer. Free basic Zoom users have access to a limited AI companion features, including automatic meeting summaries, AI note-taking, and in-meeting questions. However, because you are on the free tier, these features are capped. Hosted meetings. AI features are limited to 3 hosted meetings per month. AI queries. You are limited to 20 AI queries per month to ask questions about your meetings. My Notes. AI note-taking capabilities are limited to 3 uses per month. Transcribe in-person meetings capped at 90 minutes per month. Full AI unlimited access to Zoom's AI Workplace. You need to upgrade to a paid Zoom Workplace plan or purchase the standalone AI Companion add-on. There's an AI answer.
I got the same response.
And I suspect the the screen grabbing will start for every meeting.
I think it's like the 500 credits. It's, the analogy or whatever metaphor about drug dealer, the free taste, the first one's free, and then you I think from a marketing perspective, they'd like you to experience it, as long as you don't experience it too much without starting to give them some money.
Yeah, and one of the questions that I have about the 500 too is it 500? Meaning, is that a 500 per month?
Well, I think it's 500, and then it's gone. Once you've used it, it's gone, never again.
That's what.
Unless they decide to run another promo at some time in the future.
Right. So it's an enticement. Once it's gone, it's gone.
Well, if there's huge uptake, that credits cost them money too, right?
Yep, sure do. Sure do, because we already know that Zoom, a lot of the Zoom AI related stuff is not necessarily all of theirs. Some of it is, but there's still a lot that is not. So it's not much different than even Apple using Google initially. There is only a few of them out there that actually have enough resources to give us AI lickety split, as we are becoming accustomed to.
Well, I don't know, I consume too much media, but there was this whole concept of an AI underclass emerging, where if you don't have the monetary means that other people have, you'll be left behind in so many ways in society, right?
Yeah, that wouldn't surprise me. That wouldn't surprise me. And again, of course, we won't get into it, but of course, there's all the AI is going to replace my job scenario. But again, that doesn't really affect us as Zoom Test Kitchen community, because again, majority of us are doing productions, right? And also taking care of Zoom accounts. So there's in our world, it's a little different. Zoom AI is meant there to help us, not to necessarily hurt us, aka take our jobs away. It's just to make us more efficient.
I think you get some pushback from people on that. That's a controversial statement you just made.
Yeah, no, understood. But again, it's all depending on how people want to use AI, because it's pretty unlimited what you can actually do with AI, really, if you think about it.
Let's check in 5 years and see how society's progressed.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Well, we won't be here, just the AI will. So how will we know what happens?
There are a lot of people who believe that. In the documentary I just watched, there was a lot of talk about whether AI is neutral, evil, or good. And one person said, when you step on an ant, you don't have any animosity towards the ant. It's just an ant. It's just like AI doesn't care, but if you're in the way and it decides you're in the way, it's just going to step on you, because it doesn't have any angry feelings towards you. It's just calculated that's a necessary thing to do.
Fairly fair. Fairly fair, actually. Yeah, that is something that, again, a lot of the AI experts that were working with this technology from the very beginning have been warning everyone about as it is. So, yes.
This goes way back in science fiction to Asimov and the three rules for for computers, right? Like our safety guardrails being built into AI from its inception, and a lot of people feel like there are companies that are being respectful towards safety and privacy, and the companies that are taking shortcuts often get to the finish line first, and whoever gets to the finish line first stands to make a lot of money. So will the companies that are taking shortcuts get there first versus the ethical companies, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And again, it's all how the actual LLMs actually are structured and controlled for the most part. Because again, way you can build an LLM can be built many different ways, and not one LLM is necessarily the same like any other, because there are many different flavors. So yeah, I totally agree with that. All right. So how are we doing on their YouTube audience? Any questions for me? Nothing as of yet. So if you do want any questions answered by the team here, we've got some community champions in here, me included. And let us know in chat, and then we'll do our best to answer your questions. And maybe we'll actually throw this out there to our Zoom Test Kitchen community. Are you guys going to actually move up to 7.1 on Monday? You already heard Robert's answer. That's a yes.
I will be. I'm
I
always
will
on
be.
the most current version.
Yeah. Yeah. For me, my office will not be, but I will be. Everybody will be staying at 7.0.5 right now.
In my personal scenario, what happens is a lot of my users stop using Zoom for the summer, and then they come back in the fall and they go, "What is going on? What happened at Zoom over the summer?" It's because
Frank,
they didn't keep up, right?
right. And they're going, Frank, what'd you do? Why does it look so different? Yeah. Hilarious, but true. Yeah. Again, if you're zooming, yeah, again, in Frank's scenario, a lot of them are on summer break. So again, of course,
But
you're
even
not
if you're
gonna
just a
make
casual
necessarily-
Zoom user, maybe you use Zoom 4 or 5 times a year for some kind of company meeting or something, and then you go, "What is going on here? This doesn't look the same as last time."
Yeah. Where's that button again? Right. Yeah, exactly.
Well, I know they have the Zoom test, but it does, make a point that it would be good to have a Zoom test kitchen that users could go to, like I haven't been using Zoom for, the summer. Um, and just have a
Zoom has a test meeting that's available 24/7.
right.
Yeah.
But what I'm
And
saying though is a meeting, that they're just testing by themselves as opposed to, you
Yeah.
know, uh,
that's available in the workplace app too.
right. But it's not, it's working in terms of like, oh, my audio works, my video works, I can, do this, but you're not kind of being paced to, you're not being told to make a pizza. And if you don't make a pizza, you're just turning on and going, oh, okay. And then you're not noticing some of these other new things that you wouldn't expect. Right? You know what I'm saying?
Yep, I think it wouldn't be very hard for Zoom to set up some kind of AI meeting where you join it and it walks you through where you can ask it questions while you're testing Zoom. But
Yeah. No, an AI one. Then you could actually ask. And then all the avatars would be in there.
Yeah.
And they'd all be AIs.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's
Except,
possible.
there are people who have spun up meetings sort of like that. Well, that you get
right.
AI participants so you can practice doing things, but they don't answer questions or anything. But I don't think it would be that hard for someone to implement that if they had the desire to do it.
Yeah, it would be basically you'd still do it as if you were starting your own meeting, like a personal meeting, but it would be a personal meeting that quote unquote Zoom bot, never forbid I use that term, but I'm going to use it anyways. That Zoom bot would actually join, and then all of a sudden you'd be able to, it would join probably as an avatar, and basically start talking to you per se, and go, oh,
I just think it would be expensive. Like remember last week when David tried to make a food menu, and it used like 150 credits or tokens or whatever they are. Like, how many tokens or credits would it take for this meeting to have 4 AI bots answering questions? Like, it'd probably be a lot of credits, right?
I think it
Potentially.
would probably replace the costs of providing support.
But Zoom doesn't provide support unless you pay enough money per month to be on the tier that gets support, right? It is all AI bots, chat bots answering support questions right now, which the community is incensed about. But all tech companies are going in that way. Like, Zoom's not alone in that.
Yeah, and also us community champions answering the questions for Zoom in the community champion
For free. Like,
yeah.
What's wrong with us? We're too altruistic.
And that's why there's 500,500. By the way, that's where that number came from.
That I didn't want to step on, John's excitement, but yeah, definitely part of the reason there's been so many people going to the Zoom community is where else can you get some answers except for an AI bot that if you don't, part of the problem with the AI bot for Zoom is if you don't know the right vocabulary, you'll chase your tail around for a while trying to get a meaningful answer. If you don't know the right Zoom words to say, like if you're a casual user or you're new to Zoom and you don't know what to ask, you're not going to get a good answer, right?
Aren't they using the information in the Zoom community to train the AI bot so that they?
Oh yeah, I imagine.
It becomes smarter.
Yeah, a lot of things that are said in the Zoom community are wrong though. So like it's also being trained on incorrect as well as correct information, right?
Yeah, yeah, it's yeah. Again, if it comes from one of the community champions or comes from one of the Zoomies, fine. But if it does not, then yes, they could. In theory, they could filter out from the new system. They could filter out, if the response to this question was given by a Zoom champion and it's been closed, then yes, then it should
There's
be.
likes, like the community has likes. I guess if something had a lot of likes, maybe it's some indication it might be more reliable than less likes, but even that's kind of arbitrary, right?
If you want to understand how the community forums work, it's no secret that the company that supplies the software is Gainsight. That's the platform that they use.
I miss some of the features from the old platform, like
so do they.
Especially as a community champion, like the pre-canned answers and stuff. And subscriptions, I like to subscribe to certain ones, and there's some things I miss. I don't know if they're available and they're just turned off. Like, I don't know the inner workings of the software that they're hosting.
No, there are quite a few features that aren't available yet on Gainsight that were available on the old platform.
Yeah.
So we're just working through it.
Interesting.
I think you can subscribe to the different channels now.
Like you always put in your responses, if you think this is a useful answer, mark it as the best answer. Or something, do you just have like a text file you copy paste every time? Because I don't do that. I used to get a lot more votes for my answers, but now I don't have a macro that I can make that happen with, so I just don't bother.
I don't think I'm allowed to give away the secrets of how I've become the top MVP on the site, but I can share with you that I use a Stream Deck button to type the information into boxes.
Yeah. So it's a macro.
It's just one of those kind of macros.
Yeah.
That hopefully
he made his own macro.
Yeah, he made his own macro, and hopefully it's not filling up his log files either.
I could make a keyboard shortcut, I guess, and just say bleh every time, but
yeah, or for us Windows guys, I really like using auto hotkey.
Yeah, auto hotkey.
Yeah.
Keyboard Maestro. There's lots of them.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah.
What is the other one? Micro listener or something? If you want to intercept keyboard keystroke combos.
Interesting. Okay.
Did you say you have a week off coming up, Robert? A little downtime?
Um, yeah. This just we don't have anything booked for next week, so
Remember to relax. You work hard, man. Take some time to enjoy your life.
actually I've got some stuff planned with the kids, so we're going to
Nice, nice.
use that time for something beneficial.
They're only little ones.
So they say, but I haven't experienced that yet.
All right. So our friend Brody is watching us on YouTube. Everybody say hi to Brody. All right. And given all the AI related security updates, says Brody, I'm tending to install updates when available, except latest Mac OS. Sequoia security updates, yes. Tahoe, no.
I agree.
All right.
As far as Zoom goes, the reason I stay on the cutting edge of Zoom is because I have to know everything that my users might run into. If I was on a production machine, would I do that? No, but I'm not on a production machine, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Again, I'm same boat as you, Frank, where I've purposely got machines that are my test machines. And again, I'm testing in Linux, testing in Windows. We don't have any Mac hardware, but if I did, I would be having one of each that it would have the latest and greatest, and I would be running it through its paces as much as possible and watching it blow up in front of my face instead
The
of
hard thing is
listen
when
to
you're on the
employees.
latest and greatest and someone's on something old and you don't remember how the old way worked and you're like, how did that work again?
This is why I'm feeling for somebody that's still running 6.0 that might be in
Well,
Poland.
in my particular case, I'm lucky because I'm one of the people who gets to set the minimum standard for my users. So we make them stay somewhat current all the time. 3 times a year, they have to upgrade. They can't not upgrade. So at least it keeps them within a certain range, right?
Right. So are you allowing 6.x still, Frank?
I think everyone has to be on 7. I have to go look. If it's not, it will be in end of August. They'll all be on something very recent. But Zoom also has the 9-month compliance rule globally anyways, right? The quarterly life cycle policy or whatever, where everyone has to be within
Right.
9 months of the current release, which annoys a lot of users too, because they don't want to upgrade to the newest one. They like I was on the community forum and somebody was like, I'm not upgrading to that. And I'm like, well, eventually you're going to have to, or you're going to have to stop using Zoom.
Right. And on top of that, too, for all of us out there using SDKs or APIs, those are affected too. So again, all it takes is an Elgato app not to be at the latest version of the SDK or API.
It makes a
now
lot of
you-
sense. Like, Windows has for years supported legacy everything, and it becomes like a support nightmare to have to support every combination, every variable. It's much easier if you force everyone to say within a certain tolerance range so that you can say, all right, we don't have to deal with that old problem anymore. Get
Right.
rid of all that
100%. 100%. And again,
legacy overhead or whatever you want to call it, right?
yeah. And so what Frank is given a perfect example of is Windows 10. They said, nope, it's going to get to the point where, again, so if you are running Windows 10, any of our Zoom Test Kitchen community, if you're running Windows 10, it's coming up again that if you're extended it using that extended capabilities, that's coming up soon too. So you're not going to have much of a choice after that one. They're not going to, it's looking right now with the numbers as the numbers are that they will not offer another extended period after that, after this one ends at this point, unless you are enterprise. So if you're a pro or home based Windows 10, no, you would have to be at minimum at least a Windows 10 Enterprise or a variant of such, or long-term edition. There's an acronym. I'm not remembering it right now. What it is. Smart.
I can't say
Explain,
that out
Frank.
loud. No, I
All
can't.
right.
I can't
Oh,
because
okay.
of who's here. But
Yeah.
I'm not dealing with all the Windows 11. I'm not. That's it. That's the last time.
Right. So So this is, and this is again still big. And yes, just to let everybody know, if you want to use Zoom on Linux and you don't want to go from Windows 10 to Windows 11, yes, you can use Zoom on Linux. Is 90-ish% of the capabilities there? Yes, it is. So if you're just attending a regular meeting and you want to make sure that your camera works or doesn't work, mute, unmute, you want to share something, all those functionalities have been working for a while now. And I keep thinking that I'm the only Linux one. I think I'm only the Linux one in the Zoom Test Kitchen community, maybe. But if I'm not, then yay, that would be great to actually know that I'm not the only one. But besides that, when it comes to the Linux versions out there, yes. Again, test. If you are going to thinking of doing from Windows 10 to Linux, make sure. And again, there are a lot of YouTube videos. If you do a search of I'm now moving from Windows to Linux, and you find a lot of the YouTube influencers that have the high numbers, they will be the more helpful to you out there. The high subscribe numbers, they'll be more helpful to you because they will actually, they've been there and they've done that already. Where there's been, one example is our Canadian dude, Linus Tech Tips, where he actually did a whole month of he actually dropped Windows and went strictly Linux. And there was 3 employees that he actually dragged along with him to actually do this. And if you want to take a look at it, Linus Tech Tips, there was a bunch of videos of how they went through things and what their results were and why they chose the versions of Linux that they chose and what they were able to get done. And yes, they are a Teams house, so they were actually able to use that T word on Linux too. But I'm telling everybody, Zoom does work on Linux. So don't be afraid.
I'll tell you something interesting. There's a huge community of young people. Like I'm referring to my daughter, who, when she turned 16, her and the whole gaming community moved to Linux. They gave up Windows completely.
Yep.
And that community is huge. It's worldwide, and they support each other.
Yeah.
There's like a community support for Linux amongst that group of gamers of that age group.
Yeah.
It's quite amazing.
Yeah, it is. It is quite amazing. And again, if your daughter's into watching our Canadian Linus Tech Tips, she'll know that a lot of the gaming stuff that he talks about all the time too. And when they were talking about Linux, they were actually talking about, because again, a lot of their focus in a lot of their reviews is gaming related. And they were actually talking about Steam OS, which is specific OS that actually is Linux based, that actually a lot of the gamers are actually moving to. And if you've got all kinds of different related and the biggest thing is that games have been mostly made for Windows, but a lot of these games now are being quote unquote ported over to Linux so that they're able to be used, or there are certain tweaks that the Linux community have figured out how to actually tweak the Windows portions of the games so that it actually will fully function. And there are websites that actually will give you list of games that have been tested already on XYZ Linux version operating systems, and it's working.
I just looked in my admin stats, and
Yep.
my Linux users account for less than 0.5% of my total users. 0.049 or 0.49.
But do you have a large Mac user base?
Yeah, it's about 34%, but we don't give out Macs as Office computers. We give out Windows, so it's a little biased.
Oh, yeah, and interesting. And Tony Mobley's watching us on YouTube, and of course, Tony Mobley is talking about his infamous 2012 MacBook. He says, "Mike, should I actually convert it to a Linux machine?"
I posted that thing a week ago that for Tony about how to put more current operating systems on your old Mac using that set of drivers. And remember I posted it?
Yeah. Is that that was related to was that Hackintosh stuff or no?
Yeah, it came out of the
Okay.
Hackintosh community. Like
Yeah.
you can get a fairly modern OS on an Intel machine now.
Yeah. Sequoia, I believe, is there in the Hackintosh world. I believe.
It's not hack. It came from the Hackintosh community. It's not trying to use Windows hardware. It's to take a Mac that
Oh,
the operating
we're going.
system's no longer viable to move on to more current Mac operating systems. It patches all the things so that you can run current. It's more of like a patcher, Open Core Legacy, I think it's called, that allows you to patch your older Mac to run current Mac operating systems.
Okay.
I
Yeah.
wouldn't. I would do that before I go Linux. Not that I'm disparaging Linux. It's just if you want to stay in the Mac ecosystem and your hardware doesn't support a current operating system that Apple offers, this is a way to keep using the Apple ecosystem on your Mac hardware that's not officially supported. I'm doing your
Right.
thing officially.
Yeah, I know. Officially, I know. Well, it is. It's unofficial. It's true. But again, the Hackintosh world is the opposite too, where if you want to run a Mac OS on a PC,
Yeah.
it's
Because
there.
the parts were cheaper. But this isn't that. This is I have a Mac computer, but it's too old to run current operating system. It patches all the drivers and things that need to be patched so that you can run something that from Apple that's current.
Yeah, Tony's saying that his 2012 machine is still a really good machine. Yeah.
Then
And again, same with a lot of these Windows 10 machines that we're talking about.
it's just
They're really good machines too.
taking a machine on the web that's maybe not getting security updates is like at least my operating system still gets security updates.
Yeah. And
That would
again,
be my big, unless you're willing to throw the machine away, right? If you don't care what happens to it, like if it gets infected but if it's on your network and then it gets in through your computer and then it gets on your network, that's dangerous to all your other devices, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And routers get hacked too, right? Like everything gets hacked now.
Yeah. So yeah, all it takes is something internally to start attacking everything that's on the network, including, as Frank brought
Like
up,
if you're
router.
going to air gap it, then it doesn't matter. But if you're going to like Zoom, obviously has to be connected to the internet, right?
Yeah. And what a lot of people also are being told to do too is that if you really need that app and it really needs to be on that Windows 10, you could actually do an actual virtual machine image of your Windows 10 machine and then bring it into like a virtual box
Sure.
that it can run on Mac or Linux. And then you could actually just fire up that Windows machine, and that Windows machine doesn't even necessarily need to be on the network per se, because if you just need that software to run locally, you could actually disable any network capabilities in a virtual machine so that it doesn't even touch the network.
Yeah, but you can also just say, I'm never going to let my Windows machine go on the internet again and keep doing Word Perfect and Excel and your drawing app, or as long as you're not going on the web, who cares, right?
Yep. Yeah.
Well,
But again, yeah, go ahead, James.
I will say that I have a 2011 iMac, which has a perfectly good operating system that runs Photoshop that I paid for, but it won't go, like it won't run any of the browsers, right? So,
Right.
So that's kind of good and bad, right? In the sense that like it's air gapped itself to some degree.
Right.
Is Tony watching on YouTube?
Tony is watching on YouTube. Yes,
Okay, I'm gonna put the link in the chat. Can you put the link in YouTube chat?
absolutely.
I think this is the third week in a row I posted this. I don't work for them. I have no affiliation. I'm just offering it as a thought experiment. Do it, don't do it. Do it at your own peril. I'm just saying it's out there. Sorry to cut you off. So you might be interested in this too, or maybe you're happy with your air-gapped Mac and Photoshop because if it does everything you need it to do.
The thing is, it runs fast compared to like it trying to do what newer operating systems are doing. Like you don't need to share all my stuff with all my other computers and everything.
Sure.
I just need Photoshop to work. If I really want to go down and use Photoshop, to me, Photoshop is perfectly usable in its studio version.
Yep.
You can use lab color. You can use,
argue about that.
Yeah.
When Adobe really pushed hard to become subscription, that's when I said no, I'm not. I don't want a subscription. But some people need it, and it's just a business expense, right?
Yeah. And I just wanted to find out from James, have you tried Firefox?
Oh, in part, I don't want to go on the web with that computer.
Oh, okay.
In that sense, it it is a dark and scary place. If you actually look at what is actually trying to, you know, I can't think of what that program is, but it's the where you can watch all the network traffic and
Yeah.
you know
Yeah.
what is
Yeah.
trying to
There's Wireshark.
Wireshark, and find like what's trying to talk to my device,
Mhm.
oh god, what are those things called?
Ports.
Like our streamers. Um, why can't I think of their names?
Our streamers. Give me a little more an example, James. Because officially YouTube.
They'll do SRT. They're streamers and
Oh,
recorders.
you mean like an OBS?
No.
Okay.
Um,
Streamer recorder.
sorry, my memory
Encoders?
goes on some of this.
You're looking for encoders?
Yeah.
NDI.
Yeah. Did they do it? Oh, dang. Yeah, my memory's gone. So,
All right, we'll come back to you on that one. But yeah, I was just doing a quick lookup on that, and it actually said Firefox version 115 is the last supported version for users of macOS 10.12 Sierra, macOS 10.13 High Sierra, and macOS 10.14 Mojave.
oh, and I'll tell you that computer runs Snow Leopard.
And so it's even older. Is that what that means?
Yeah.
I love Snow Leopard. It was such an awesome operating system.
See, I mean, I'm just saying, like, that's the thing. It's like Snow Leopard runs quite quickly on that machine.
Like Snow Leopard was one of the best operating systems I think Apple put out, because they took Leopard and they said, we're not going to create a bunch of new features. We're going to patch all the issues and stabilize everything and optimize it. And it was just fantastic. And I'm hoping they'll do that again.
Okay. And Tony just let us know in YouTube chat that he says, I have Firefox working on the Mac. So there you go. Tony, again, FYI, I was just reading a little further in that. And that version I just mentioned to you is coming end of life. Surprise. Very soon. So they will be patching it for a few more months, but yes.
Did you share the Open Core Legacy Patcher link?
I did.
Him? Okay.
I
cool.
did. Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, there's always Linux, but that's what I would do first. I would do that if I had an older machine and I wanted to run a more current version of Apple's operating system.
Yeah. Yeah. And again, it's up to, again, it's up to everyone's choice. Are you tech savvy enough or not?
Or do a backup, try it, and if you don't like it, go back to what you had.
Yeah.
Wipe
And
it
again,
and reinstall
that's
everything.
right. Yeah. And what I would do in my world, in the corporate world, is I would actually take an actual image of the actual hard drive as is. So I would actually make a VM of it. And then,
Can I just say, if you really want to try it, how much is a 2012 Mac laptop going to cost you? $150?
Oh, in that regards, yeah, exactly.
Just buy another one and try both ways.
Yeah. Get another 2012 off of eBay. I'm sure they're probably half a dozen probably sitting on there.
Some like Apple, I can't, someplace in Pittsburgh, and they sell old apples. When I say old apples, I mean like the what is it, the SE plus. So I mean, you might want to consider System 7. That was a good operating system.
Yeah, I liked System 7. It was great. That was like 1994 or something. I like when I had a kernel panic and the little bomb icon would show up on the screen. I have a G4 Silver sitting next to making my water on it. It's too beautiful to throw away. I don't use it as a computer. It's just a work of art.
Yeah. Cool,
The
Tony.
G5,
Yes.
the G5 cheese graters were beautiful too. People turn them into legs for coffee tables and stuff.
Oh,
Oh, nice seeing you guys.
Yeah,
Like,
have a
oh,
good weekend.
I have off, and I can stop in and check out the test kitchen and see what's uh, coming the way. I'm doing more stuff in LMS as opposed to
Which LMS are you using?
Canvas.
Oh yeah, that big
So
structure hack
yeah,
there
yep,
a
yep,
month ago. That was a lot of fun, eh?
yeah, yeah.
They
But
got ransomed.
but that's why I kind of like the whole like a little more knowledge on honor lock and some of those other kind of test taking systems and then
Respondus, lockdown browser,
yeah,
all that
yeah,
junk. Yeah.
yeah. So that's where it's like like trying to verify the person. But I don't know. I mean, certainly you don't want to have fake users that look really real in your meetings, and I guess maybe that's coming, right? Or maybe it's here. Depending on who your meeting is, and um,
Every customer service automated billing system, everything's going to have AI attendance at some point. And,
yep.
you know, there needs to be a system to say whether or not you're talking to a real person or artificial person.
Hmm.
And I just, who gets to be the verification organization? Is it a for-profit company or should it be a government? That's the only thing I'm sort of, I don't like the idea of a for-profit corporation being the gatekeeper.
all right.
That's fair. That's fair.
See
Yeah,
y'all.
great, James. Ciao, James. Have a good weekend.
All right, James.
Join us anytime, James. And Tony's actually glad that we've been talking about the security concerns because he says, I had not considered the security issues. Absolutely, Tony. Absolutely. That's what happens when, if especially if the hardware, be it, excuse me, on a phone, tablet, PC, Mac, whatever, if it's what they call EOL, which is end of life, in one form or another, if that operating system that's currently installed on it is not being updated in one form or another, chances are there are security issues automatically as soon as the date that the company has said, I'm not supporting that anymore. It doesn't take long. It probably would take a few months before that operating system now would be called what we call in the world, IT world, called vulnerable, right? So
You used to have to worry about script kiddies. Now I have to
yeah,
worry about bad actors using LLMs to hack you. They
yep,
don't have to have any coding knowledge as long as they can tell the LLM what they're trying to accomplish, right? And it has
yeah,
been done many, many times already.
sure has, sure has. Any examples that come to mind, Frank?
A few, but I don't remember all the like pertinent details because I'm old. And can't remember everything anymore. And plus, I read too much, so then it's like it comes
I
and
know
goes,
it all blurs,
blurs
right?
together. Yeah.
Yeah, I know. I hear you. I hear you. Yeah, when it comes to what I'm doing too every day, yeah, I know. I sort of sometimes have to go, John, am I right? You know, did I say that right? He's like, yeah, you're fine. I said, okay, good. Because sometimes I'm going, because there might be, again, there's always more than one way to skin a cat. Tony's asking, is there a cost for open core? And I saw it was GitHub, so I'm going to guess
No,
no.
I'm pretty sure it's free. Just
Yeah.
have to invest some time reading how to do it and then do it.
Yeah.
But, if there's content on that hard drive that you're worried about, then back up the hard drive first before you take a swipe at it.
Yeah. And you could still run the laptop, Tony. Just don't have it hook up to Wi-Fi or Ethernet would be my suggestion too. So if,
Well, I mean, once like the concept with Open Core Legacy Patcher is you would make it so that you could put a current operating system on, and then you would get all the virus and threat protection the current operating system offers, right?
right. But in the meantime, until Tony does that, is what I'm saying is that it'd be best for him if he's, really concerned about that it's not getting any updates at all, which I'm going to guess it's not. Then what you would not want to do is be able to have access to Wi-Fi or have it plugged into Ethernet, because then it becomes itself its own little bubble, right? Because it becomes the what I would call the classic PC of the day of before we made sure that we had to have Wi-Fi, we had to have Ethernet. We're back in the day, gang. Yes, I come from the ages that they didn't have those things.
That's because
So-
you're from the 1900s, man.
I know.
You're the 20th century.
1990-ish, but yeah, that's fair. Yeah, that's fine. There was a 19 in there somewhere. Yeah, absolutely. So Robert's got a week off. He's going to be spending it. He's going to have some time. He's going to break 7.1, and he might love it. He might not. He'll come back next week and go, guys, horrible. And we'll go, yeah, maybe. But again, chances are we'll be talking to, if there's enough problems about 7.1 that come out this week, chances are, guess what, gang, next week, we'll probably be talking about
So
7.
what happens with BitFocus Companion when you update Zoom? Does it keep working, or do you have to wait so that BitFocus knows about the new Zoom versions?
Good question. I would defer to Andy because Andy did assist. Okay, you said, hold on. You said BitFocus Companion, correct? Not Elgato stream.
No,
not
no.
the Elgato
Like
stuff.
imagine you're relying on BitFocus Companion for your show, and
Right.
you update Zoom. Does that do anything?
For what? Okay, I'll give my perfect example of what I use right now. So I use BitFocus Listener, and right now I am calling. So anytime I mute or unmute or turn my video on or turn my video off as basic examples, I won't get into any others. So we'll just take it at the very, very basic level. So for me to mute and unmute, I'm actually using the global shortcuts built into the Workplace app. So as long as 7.1 doesn't change that global shortcut from
Right.
its current one to the next one, I'm not broken
But
in my BitFocus
is
Companion.
there anything esoteric that might break? Like, has anything ever broken for you when you updated your Zoom client?
When I've
Or do
from
those?
Companion,
Yeah.
no, not the way I'm using it.
Right.
But I can see other people that were using the Zoom OSC if the Zoom OSC was not up to date properly, because Zoom OSC is actually calling things from the server, not calling it from the local Workplace app.
Right.
So then it's actually doing calls to the server to tell it to do things.
See,
which is different.
for me, I don't have to worry about that. But if I had a production machine, then I would need to know the answer to that, right? Like, if I update to the latest Zoom client, will my BitFocus and my Stream Deck still let me run the show, or is it gonna make anything weird, or like that's something I would have to consider, right?
Right. And I would say more on the Zoom ISO end. If Zoom ISO and Zoom OSC, let's put it this way. If Justin didn't update at the same time the plugins for OSC and ISO at the same time that Liminal and Andy in the group do, then yes, there's the potential that something could break.
I would
between the two.
imagine most of Zoom's code doesn't change when they update the UX or certain new functionality. The core mission of Zoom, the code would stay constant, you would think, right? Like
Yes.
hang up or mute
Uh,
is going to be mute in another version. It's not going to change the dependencies or anything, right?
Well, I would say that would be easier for the legacy commands, but I do know that again, and Mr. Drinkwater, if you are there, that was more of a coding question that Frank was just asking. But when it comes to what I'm using it for, using the Workplace, again, I'm utilizing all the global shortcuts.
Sure.
But I don't have to do it. That's causing me less issues than others, because if you are using the actual Elgato Stream Deck, so you heard that's what you were talking about, Frank, which is the Elgato Stream Deck plugin
Yeah, I
is
have
actually
one.
broken. So if you're using that newest one of that, there may be certain functionality. If not, the whole thing might be broken. I don't know it, but
I don't think
not
it's broken. I
affecting-
just think it's like a buffer bloat or some kind of like logging bloat, right?
Yeah.
It's not that it's not usable. It's just it's hogging a lot of unneeded, like unnecessarily hogging hard drive space with logs. Sounds like runaway logs or something.
Well, it almost feels like to me that, because again, the way that one works is it's not utilizing the workplace app. It's making calls to the server. So I have a feeling that, let's just throw it out there because I don't know without actually reading the log file. Because it should be in there in plain text what's actually the problem.
Being very verbose, that's what's happening.
Yes, it is absolutely positively upset about something. Yes, because it won't make a log file bigger on purpose unless there's just verbose. Now, again, it depends on the developer. So let's assume that the developer understands that it should only be doing warnings and problems as compared to logging everything that, oh, I hit the button now, so I'm putting that in the log, and I let go of the button now, and I'm putting that in the log.
I know. It sounds like a bug they
No.
need to fix, right?
Yeah, right now it sounds like there's a communication issue between the apps and the server, and it's constantly, every time the button is being pushed, there might be some verbose information coming back to the app that maybe the app is just logging because it's doesn't know it shouldn't.
Yeah.
Or there could be an actual problem that the function actually is not working anymore.
But just correct me if I'm wrong, Mike, but
Yeah.
doesn't OSC use the Zoom SDK? So it really isn't dependent on the workplace app version?
Correct. And same. And as far as I understand, without Andy being here to back me up on this, but as far as I understand, the Elgato plugin is also using those functionalities as well. It doesn't rely on the workplace app. But I'm relying, when I'm doing my BitFocus companion stuff, using the BitFocus listener, I am relying on the workplace app because I'm sending commands to it.
Yeah, but the Elgato Stream Deck plugins don't require any access to the SDK. As far as I know.
It's got to talk to something. So if it is actually talking to the workplace app, then it's might be talking to some other hidden section in the actual workplace app, that if it's talking locally to the workplace app, which it could, it's not something that is a global shortcut. Let's put it that way as an example, or it very well could be. But in my case, I've, for the most of the things that I need to do. So if I need to mute everybody, that's a global shortcut. If I need to mute myself, I can do that as a global shortcut. If I want to turn my cam on and off, it's a global shortcut. So I'm just basically, from the actual button, I've told BitFocus Companion to send that command to the BitFocus Listener app that's running on my machine. And it goes, oh yeah, okay. So you want me to send that to, you just want me to send this keyboard out, and then it's going to hit workplace global shortcut. So that's what I'm doing. So I haven't run into the, if a companion plugin is broken, I'm not. The BitFocus listener for me would have to break at this particular point for my commands not to get to Zoom. And then of course, Zoom would have to change the global shortcut keys on me. So I might be triggering a mute button, but it might have changed to a video button as an example. Chances of them doing that, probably not ever going to happen. But again, it is possible that they all of a sudden change the global shortcut on me. Then I have to go into the code and find out what the global shortcut now is. And that's wouldn't take that long to change because I've already got everything in my companion configuration. So it'd be just a matter of changing it from the, let's say mute was M and now it's some other letter, then I would just have to change the M to something else, and then I'm fixed.
Just to answer your question, Frank, I haven't seen any changes to my Stream Decks that are all using BitFocus Companion configurations when the Zoom Workplace app is updated. However, I've seen major disasters when the BitFocus Companion
Yeah, definitely.
it's updated. That's
Timing is everything, right?
Yeah, and so what Robert is talking about is that BitFocus Companion, the actual server, which is the actual sitting there listening for everything, has been updated, and the module hasn't been updated properly to work with that new version of the server because it needs different commands sent to it.
I used to run BitFocus Companion. I just gave up keeping up with it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, I control our cameras with it. I control my ATEM with it. I control.
It's on my
Zoom.
list of things to learn, and I just never get. There's too many things. I just never get back to it.
Yep. Yeah. Tony's actually asking us. He says, and again, Tony, I think I know what everybody's going to say to this, but I'll let the panelists answer, and then I'll give my opinion. Should I update the 2012 laptop hard drive from a spinning drive? And I'm going to assume that you're talking about going from a spinning drive to an SSD, solid state drive instead of a spinning drive.
I really like. Depends. Like, why? Like, if you're really enjoying this Mac and it'll make it go faster, but I mean, you were talking about making it e-waste a few weeks ago. It's like, if you're not intending on keeping it, why put good money after bad? But if you really like to hobbyist and tinker and take things apart, like I did that to one of my Mac laptops. I took it apart, and there's a lot of screws, and you got to remember where they all go. There's a bunch of guides on, iFixit in places, and you need special screwdrivers, like, and you can get a kit from like somewhere like OWC Computing, Other World Computing, and they have all the proper things you need. They have kits for it. If you enjoy tearing things down and building them back up, then sure, why not? But, it might cost you, I know hard drives have gotten a little silly on the prices, but maybe, what used to cost $60, maybe it'll cost you $120 now. I don't know.
Yeah,
It'll be zippier.
It will be faster.
And it'll be quieter. That's the two things you're going to get out of it.
Yeah.
Maybe you'll use a little less power, assuming your battery even works on something that old.
Yeah, that's a good point too. Yeah. Robert, your thoughts before mine?
I was going to say, it really depends what you want to use that computer for. Because if the hard disk in that machine is that old, I'd probably think about changing it if I'm going to be doing any serious work on that machine.
Yeah.
But
And
I don't
Tony
know
does-
what serious work means. So I don't know what the definition of serious
I would go
work
look at a
is.
teardown guide and see if you're willing to take that many screws out and remember where they go before you actually try it.
Yeah.
Because the last couple of times I did it, you have to think about it a lot before you tear it apart. Like clean work surface, proper tools, some sort of system. Either take pictures with your camera as you're taking it apart. Make sure you put the screws in some kind of logical order because they have to go back in the right order. And there's lots of them.
Yeah. So to answer Robert's question about what he's going to use the machine for, I only want it as a Zoom machine. And to answer Frank's comment, I replaced RAM and hard drive years ago in this unit already.
Okay, so you've done it. All right. It's really like if you enjoyed that sort of thing, then go. Like,
Yeah.
lots of people like keeping old computers alive. It's a hobby for some people.
So I will take the combination of what both Robert and Frank said. So from the money standpoint, chances are now the hard drive will possibly be more expensive than the actual laptop is worth.
Yeah,
So
probably.
take that into consideration. So if that's okay, then great. If that's not okay, then obviously that could be budgeted into some other machine for you. And taking what Robert's talking about, if you only want it to be a Zoom machine, great, but realize that you won't be able to do much else with it because as technology and such keeps going, it will eventually be too slow.
I agree with what you said. What I would recommend is get a kit because your IDE drive is probably going to have an IDE cable, and the SSD isn't going to fit on that IDE cable, and you're going to need a jumper cable, like an adapter that turns it from IDE to
SATA.
SATA. Yeah.
Yeah.
And if you buy it through OWC, and I'm sure there's other reputable companies, you can buy a whole kit that comes with the right screwdrivers, the right everything you need to do it as one package, and you don't have to think about it. It'll all be the right stuff instead of mixing and matching and hoping you're getting the right things.
Is there a possibility that that disk won't be recognized by the BIOS on the machine?
Well, that's a good question. I don't know. On the PC side, we're a lot more flexible. On the Mac side, I think they did have something in there.
You might also have to get the, like, I think OWC will have the answers to this, but it may have to be formatted in a certain way too for the operating system. Like if it shows up as Apple journaled versus maybe Apple was using, what were they using back then? Oh, maybe it was Apple journaled then, it would be Apple APFS or whatever now, right? So, or it may show up, I don't know, how do blank SSD show up right now? They show up as NTFS, exFAT, like what do they show
They
up as?
are, by default from the factory, a lot of them are all, just give me a second on that one. It's not, I don't think it's FAT32. If anything, it's because of the bigger size of the FAT, bigger size of the drive. It's
NTFS?
extended
Anyways,
FAT? exFAT?
whatever it
Is
is, OWC probably formats the hard drive for you before it shows up so that it'll be recognized, right?
Right. So yeah, so that is a good point, Frank. Yeah, a lot of the hard drives that you will buy non-Mac or non-Mac certified or non-Mac, you're buying it from a non-Mac dealer, chances are is meant to go into a PC. So you will have to do something. Okay, so he's saying that spinning disk is fine and no real financial investment wanted. It is a toy. So he wants to tinker is what I'm hearing out of that.
Let's just, instead of guessing.
Oh, Frank's going to be looking at OWC's website.
Yeah.
We'll be right back.
They have kits for this. Just carry on. I'll be back in a second.
So Robert, only 7.1 this week? That's it? And relaxing?
No, I've been studying Ecamm a lot. Been doing some stuff with Ecamm because that's the preferred streaming app that we want to use.
Okay.
And currently we're testing the portrait and landscape formats. In other words, the vertical, horizontal.
Yeah, so you're getting a lot of people asking you for 9x16 then.
And I didn't realize how large a market that is, to tell you the truth, because we do a lot of professional stuff in the traditional 1080 horizontal format.
Yeah, 16:9, yeah.
Yeah. And what we don't realize is that a lot of this content is being consumed on mobiles.
Yeah.
And it's so profound. The difference is so great at the moment that when you think about anything that goes out to Instagram, goes out to X, goes out to TikTok, it's all going out in a vertical format. Even to YouTube for the mobile apps. So there's a lot of requests coming in for that. And the interesting part is that they still want to have the horizontal format. It's something that it seems as if there's something professional about the horizontal format that people don't want to give up.
Right. And on top of that too, though, the important thing is that the Zoom world is very 16:9 too. Even though it'll accept 9x16 is fine. But again, I've done many shows that people will come in with their phones and all of a sudden that's all you get, and you get black on either side, right? So, yeah, again, it's interesting. I don't myself, I'm not a fan of the 9x16, but that doesn't mean that you shouldn't be doing it or that it shouldn't be being done. Oh, and Frank's got another one for Tony.
Do the second link. Just you weren't joking about the hard drive costing more than the laptop. $177 for a 500 gig kit.
Yeah.
So here's what you get. You get the hard drive, you get the tools, you get the enclosure, the enclosure for your old hard drive, I think.
With the video and how to do it.
Yeah.
Change them.
Yep, they have training videos.
Oh yeah, yeah, that's a big time external closure. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, so
and that looks like their own made drive as well. So they're definitely getting.
They're rebranded for them. They're made by a reputable company. They're a very well known reputable company. But anyways, it's really Tony's decision. I mean, lots of people would do it just because they like their old technology and they want to keep using it.
Yeah. Yeah. So if Tony is into collecting and keeping that laptop, absolutely, and he wants
they're
to
pretty laptops. I had one. They're really nice laptops.
Yeah, absolutely.
I still have mine in the closet. I haven't thrown it away.
But is Frank going to pay that amount of money to keep resurrected, though?
I think I put an SSD in it pretty early on.
Okay.
I stopped using it because the battery died, and I had a loud fan, and I didn't feel like tearing it apart to change the fan again after I already did the hard drive update.
Right. So you're like, I would invest in current computer's external drive. That's what Tony says.
So just plug an external hard drive into it?
Sure. Again, make sure that you get the appropriate one that has an appropriate port on it as well.
But then, the bus speed isn't going to be the same as if it was internal, right?
Correct. Yeah. That will be always the problem, is that it will always be your bottleneck now.
Mac, you can put your operating system onto an external hard drive and boot from it in target disk mode, but it's not going to be as fast. Just not going to be as fast, that's all.
And dangerous a bit too, no?
No.
It's external?
No.
Okay.
Used it all the time back in the day.
Okay. Cool. All right. So, okay. All right. Let me do the infamous graphic one more quick time. So if there's any further questions for Frank, Robert, John, and I, let us know in chat, and I will relay it to them, as I've been doing so with Tony Mobley. Not I meant my working computers. Oh, he said I would invest in current computers external drive. Not I meant my working computers, not the 2012. Okay. So he's saying that he would do an external drive for his current machines, but not for his 2012 one. Makes sense. Makes sense.
It's like saying, should I put new rims on my car? Well, it's really a you question, not a me question.
That's right. Yeah, that's right. Does a rim make you feel better?
I need some spinners.
Doesn't really make the car go better.
Need some spinners on my grocery getter.
Yeah, that's right. That's why I said, yeah, it doesn't necessarily make the car go better, but if it makes you feel better because it looks better.
Well, this is a little different. I mean, a hard drive is more like updating the engine or something. Maybe not the engine, but some vital component in the car.
Yeah.
It's more important than rims.
It would be more important than rims. Yeah, that's true. That's true. But you could always, if you really wanted to go down that road too, you could always boot off of a USB drive. Just like in the Linux world, which is also one quick thing that I'll throw out there too, is that
USB 1.1 back then.
Yeah, you too could go that slow. But yes, no, when you're actually testing, if you're testing any Linuxes, download their live CD version, so that you do not have to destroy anything on your hard drive, and you just need to boot from that USB stick, and then you can test out your Linux off of the USB stick. Take into consideration, of course, the speed of your USB stick, and also the actual port that you're plugging into to make sure that the USB stick and the port are plugged into the fastest, so that you actually get some sort of real numbers and such of trying it out. And you should be able to then do all kinds of different testing of browsers, and if the hardware will work, you can test your Ethernet, Wi-Fi, cameras, et cetera, by being able to run the live CD off of a USB stick, and it won't affect your hard drive. But you just need to boot off of the USB stick and go into the Linux from there. All righty. It's looking like that time, and everybody's being quiet. Tony, any other quick comments before we wrap this up? Since Tony seems to be one right now, I got Tony in YouTube. That's awesome. But Tony's taking advantage of letting us know in YouTube chat any questions that he has. So good job, Tony.
I think I'm going to say goodnight. I'm going to go eat supper.
Yeah.
Good night, Frank. Good seeing you.
Yeah. Are you following any of the World Cup at all, Robert?
No, not at all.
Canada had a very good victory yesterday.
Yes, we
Well
did.
done.
Yes, we did.
Except for the guy breaking his leg.
Are you can come out of your group? Or?
Yeah, we may come out first because we scored 6 goals yesterday.
Yeah. We're
A Canadian, I don't know if it's still current, but as of this morning, a Canadian was tied with Messi for the most goals in the World Cup.
That is a great achievement.
It is.
Yeah.
Who is this Messi guy trying to be better than Canada?
Oh. And Tony, explain a little more. You're actually confusing me. DVD player. I'm assuming it has a DVD-ROM drive in it. Is that what you meant? DVD player.
Yeah.
Quickly before we wrap this up.
You actually
DVD-ROM?
there is a kit you can buy for those to turn it into another hard drive location. You can take the CD-ROM, DVD-ROM, whatever it is out and use that as another hard drive bay and have 2 hard drives.
Right.
Because it uses the same connector.
Yeah, correct. Because again, if it's IDE, like Frank said,
you need the kit.
SATA. Yeah.
But then you could have 2 hard drives and be like the best MacBook 2012 on the neighborhood, you know?
That's right. You could be the cool kid.
You only have one hard drive? I have 2 hard drives.
I have 2. My 2012. What's wrong with you?
I have a Mac Mini server.
There we go.
And it has 2 hard drives.
Is it running Darwin?
Yeah, it was back then. But it was actually back when Apple had server operating systems.
Yeah. Don't be making me get my old man cane, and I will. Yeah.
I wish Mac would bring back server operating systems, and I wish they would bring back their Wi-Fi stuff because they had really good Wi-Fi stuff back in the day.
Yeah. Tony was saying, yes, I knew that, but it is a plaything. I'm assuming that's still the laptop that it's a plaything.
Most of the Apple Wi-Fi guys started Ubiquiti.
Robert might know that company.
Yep. Well done.
Born out of the Apple skunkworks.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Are you watching your cat in the background, Frank? It seems to be getting quite active.
There's a bunch of reusable grocery bags on a chair, and he likes to crawl inside the grocery bags.
Cool.
He's a cat. He's weird.
He's a cat, and he's weird.
They're all weird.
They're
little
all
furry
weird.
guys and girls.
Yeah. Excellent. Mr. Drinkwater. Yeah.
I'm going to say goodnight as well.
Alrighty.
It's 20 past midnight here, so
yeah,
time to go to sleep.
Get
Take
some
care,
rest.
guys.
Yeah, see you
Take
later.
care, Robert. Yeah. All right. And Mr. Drinkwater.
Play that funky song there, Mike.
All righty. Yeah, Mr. Drinkwater. Any last words before we disappear?
He's probably on his pillow too.
I'll give him a few seconds. just in case he's got some YouTube delay, even though he's in Zoom. All right, cool. And we still have 4 people watching us on YouTube. Thank you.
Well,
Zoom
their
test.
computers are still on the channel. They may not be in front of them.
That's true. And some of them are ready to do karaoke, Frank. So there we go. There's an answer. All right. So I'm not blasting it out there outrageously loud. I promise not to hurt everybody's ears. It's time to do some karaoke. Sing it, everybody.
Welcome to the Zoom Test Kitchen where the magic happens live. Every Friday we're on air testing tech to thrive. From screen share to breakout rooms, we push Zoom to its max. So sit back, relax, and let's see what's in our tech hacks. Zooming in, we're testing it all. Live on YouTube each week. From audio to video, no feature we won't tweak. We're the Zoom Test Kitchen crew, here to innovate. Join the fun, learn the tech, don't be late. We'll dive into the settings, explore every single tab. Make sure your mic is clear, your camera not a drab. We'll show you how to host like a pro, manage like a king. With Zoom Test Kitchen, you'll be zooming with a zing. Zooming in, we're testing it all. Live on YouTube each week. From audio to video, no feature we won't tweak. We're the Zoom Test Kitchen crew, here to innovate. Join the fun, learn the tech, don't be late. Whether you're new to Zoom or an expert in disguise, we've got tips and tricks, we'll open up your eyes. From polls to quizzes, we test functionalities. Join us live, see what Zoom does with these. So if your meetings lag or you can't share your screen, or if your audio echoes like you're stuck in between, we've got solutions, we'll show you how it's done. Zoom Test Kitchen, where Zoom fun has begun. Zooming in, we're testing it all. Live on YouTube each week. From audio to video, no feature we won't tweak. We're the Zoom Test Kitchen crew, here to innovate. Join the fun, learn the tech, don't be late. So tune in, don't miss out on this tech fest we lead. Every Friday, Zoom Test Kitchen, where you'll succeed. We'll make your Zoom meeting smooth, keep the tech in check. In the Zoom Test Kitchen, we've got your back. No wreck. We're the Zoom Test Kitchen, we've got your back. No wreck.
All right. We've got your back. No wreck. That's right. Thanks, everyone, for joining us this week on the Zoom Test Kitchen. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel to let YouTube and Zoom know how much you love our content. We are here every Friday at 3 p.m. Eastern, 12 p.m. Pacific time, and check your local time zones so that you can join us live every week. See everyone next week for another edition of the Zoom Test Kitchen. Take care, everyone on YouTube, and have a great weekend. And to all those fathers out there, happy Father's Day.